they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. With my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. With my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. With my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so that all being said, hello, Luna. We the people is in the house. April, Hadassah is here, and that's a G. Deronda. All right, Miss Sheila, I see you, beloved. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Vince I Am is in the house all the way from the UK. Jeff ATL. All right, let's get into it. Licensed Federal Officer Carol Banks. All right, Patrick is here. DJ Big 6. 504 Nola is in the house. Joy. All right, Robert, I see you. Brizzy Creations Videos. All right. So with that all being said, let's get into it. I see you, Lorraine. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators because they be putting in work. I see you, Desmond. Okay, so with that all being said, let's start with a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, and don't forget that she has a beard oil for men. All right, and so with that all being said, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, first things first, Diddy has upped the ante on his defamation lawsuit against Ariel Mitchell Kidd and Courtney Burgess, the liar who lies. Okay, Diddy is tired of people playing on his name. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if some of these lying arse social media content creators also get sued. Okay, so let's get into it. Everybody hit the like button. Okay, so now I'm not going to go through this whole document. It's like 25 pages, but we'll just go through some of it. So basically, the nature of the action. Now, this case is about defendants' willful schemes to fabricate and broadcast outrageous lies concerning Mr. Combs, and then to leverage those falsehoods to enrich themselves and gain social media fame, promote their brand, strip Mr. Combs of his reputation and livelihood, and jeopardize his right to a fair trial. Now, of course, this was filed before Diddy went to trial, but again, he has amended it, okay? Because now, rather than suing them for $50 million, he's now suing them for 100. Okay, social media protagonists, including but not limited to defendants Burgess and Mitchell, have for over a year been fueling a media frenzy, fabricating outlandish claims and stirring up baseless speculation about Mr. Combs, vying to outdo each other in a shameless competition to draw attention to themselves, okay, with no regard for the truth. This sounds a whole lot like Tisa Tales. I wouldn't be surprised if she's hit with one of these suits later. But anyway, in this pitiful spectacle, all pretense of objectivity has been abandoned as a global audience feast at the all-you-can-eat buffet of wild lies and conspiracy theories. Defendants Mitchell and Burgess are among the worst perpetrators in this offensive scenario. Now, they eagerly court every opportunity to broadcast blatant falsehoods, pretending they have proof that Mr. Combs engaged in heinous acts, knowing that no such proof exists. The defendant News Nation, rather than uphold standards of professional journalism and act as a bulwark against such social media fabrications, instead lent its credibility to and amplified defendant Burgess and Mitchell's lies, giving them a mainstream media platform to malign plaintiff for defendants' collective profit. Now, don't you all remember? I want you all to pay attention because you heard it here first. Didn't I tell you, in fact, that these two were liars who lied? Even before they teamed up together, even before Courtney Burgess, for whatever reason, I guess because they're both liars, hired Ariel Mitchell Kidd to be his attorney. I told you that he was a liar after I interviewed him. And I told you that she was a liar when she first filed her lawsuit against Diddy. The first lawsuit she filed, I believe, was with Adria English, who's also a liar. And you heard that here first as well. I want you all to pay attention because this is a channel of truth, not lies. And people who tell them will be called out, okay, no matter whom they are. All right, so that all being said, as a result, millions of people have come to believe in the made up evidence that defendants have falsely described and vouched for. The torrent of lies and the immeasurable harm and prejudice that it has caused to Mr. Combs must be remedied. Defendant Burgess falsely claimed that he possessed videos of Mr. Combs involved in sexual assault of celebrities and minors. Defendant News Nation recklessly repeated and amplified his lies as if they were true, even though News Nation was aware that what he was spewing was probably false. Let me tell y'all something, honey. Let me tell you all something, because there's a content creator mentioned in this lawsuit. Okay, and so with that all being said, I want you all to pay attention because you see, I was the second person, as I told you all before, to interview Courtney Burgess. And what did I do when I realized he was lying, when I was interviewing him? What did I do? Even though that video was gaining thousands of views, I privated the video because I'm not a liar who lies. And when people tell lies on this platform, I'm going to call you out. And that's what I did. Do you all remember that? But many people kept his lies up, okay, for clout chases and for YouTube monetization. Okay, I just want y'all to pay attention. But let's continue. This is all nefarious. So anyway, with that all being said, defendants News Nation recklessly repeated and amplified his lies as if they were true, even though News Nation was aware that what he was spewing was probably false. As a result, Burgess's lies were broadcast on social and traditional media platforms that reach millions of viewers in the United States and abroad. Burgess's attorney Mitchell, who was recently named in a complaint by the Florida bar, based on allegations that she bribed a witness to corroborate accusations of sexual assault against another celebrity, repeated those same lies. Now, Mitchell knew that her client's claims were false, or at a minimum was utterly reckless in disregarding their falsity. Now, because no such tapes exist, and because Mitchell never saw any video depicting Mr. Combs sexually abusing anyone, adult or minor, Mitchell's false assertions that Burgess possessed such videos were either knowingly blatant falsehoods or recklessly false statements made as the direct result of Mitchell's inexcusable failure to investigate her client's outrageous lies. Well, here's the thing. It was no accident. She absolutely lied on purpose. And I told you all that because if you recall, yes, Trisha said, did they get Sean Atwood too? Well, they don't get Sean Atwood. They haven't sued him, but they did mention him in the lawsuit. Okay. And also, Sean Atwood took down much of his Diddy content. Okay. And because he didn't want to get sued. All right. Vince I am said, your body language queen said it all. It was so funny. Okay. Thank you. It was funny. You know, I didn't even realize the look on my face until afterward when I went back and looked at the video. I was looking at him like, dude, I know you're sitting up here lying. I mean, it was so obvious to me. Okay. And so anyway, with that all being said, Ariel Mitchell, I told you all she was lying when she sat there during an interview and she said that she had actually seen video footage of one of the freak offs. Okay. And she said there was a celebrity there and that the celebrity probably didn't know they were being recorded, but you could see their face clearly. Do you all remember that? She said that she had screenshots and all of that. Okay. So she was just lying because no such things exist. And now that the trial has concluded, we know that she was lying all along because there were in fact no celebrities. Okay, just Cassie and Jane Doe. All right. So Trisha said, what about Chris Todd, Queen? Yes, I called him out too. He didn't want to come on here and interview with me, honey, because I let him know that I didn't believe a word he was saying. And I wanted to get him on here so he could verify the claims that he made to me. And he said, oh, I'm not doing any more interviews right about now. But then 2 days later, he did another interview right about then. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. At the end of the day, I keep calling these liars out. I keep calling them out. They have to be called out because, you know, there's something called journalistic integrity. Even though many of these people are not journalists, they want to call themselves that. They've not gone to school nor college. Okay, at the end of the day. Miss Sheila said, yes, why didn't they subpoena her? Because she was lying. Exactly. And let's not forget how Courtney Burgess actually testified before the grand jury twice. The second time he was called to testify, I told you all why it was. I said, because they know he's lying. They just want him to come in there and they want to hear what else he has to say so they can prove that he's lying. Okay? And that's exactly what he did. He's such an idiot. All right. So anyway, I knew his arts was lying when he said that he knew Tupac and produced one of Tupac's songs. Dude, get the F out of here. I actually knew Tupac in real life, so that's how I know that you didn't. I've never heard of you, dude. But anyway, let me continue. And then let's not forget the nefarious things that he said about both Diddy and Al B. Sure. Okay. So anyway, goes on to say, contrary to Mitchell's published statements, an actual police report filed by her client thoroughly discredited the client's preposterous accusations against Mr. Combs. It alleged that the client was tragically raped by two white men, okay, not by Mr. Combs, who was black. I want y'all to pay attention because this lady said that she had a police report. That's what she said. She literally said she had a police report, but then when they looked at the police report, the client had said she was raped by two white men, honey. How was that, Diddy? Okay, even those allegations were deemed unsubstantiated by the police. Okay, even the one she said about the two white men, they couldn't find proof of that. So again, News Nation published these lies about Mr. Combs, even though it knew or recklessly disregarded the fact there was no such corroborating police report. Burgess peddled his false and defamatory statements about Mr. Combs to promote himself on social media, clout chasing, in other words. Mitchell did the same. Both seek to capitalize on the resulting publicity for financial gain, and both must be held accountable. Honey, like I told you all, I'm so glad I took that video down, honey, because guess what? My name could have been in here too, because I absolutely interviewed Burgess. But like I said, I knew he was lying, honey, and I don't roll with liars. That's what I don't do. They both went on Sean Atwood's channel, by the way, which is probably why his name was listed. Okay, so News Nation disseminated Burgess and Mitchell's false statements despite multiple reasons to seriously doubt the truth of their claims. Given Burgess's and Mitchell's reputations for peddling falsehoods, the outlandish nature of their statements, as well as publicity or publicly available information discrediting their claims, News Nation should have realized that Burgess and Mitchell's statements were inherently improbable. And they absolutely should have, okay? They absolutely should have known that they were lying, because just like I knew they were lying, so should News Nation. The stories were inconsistent. They had no proof or receipts. Burgess told me that he had 11, I believe he said 11 discs, okay, that were given to him with information about Kim Porter's book and all of that, and had video footage and all this stuff on it. And then when I asked him where he got it from, didn't he say Shakur Stewart? And didn't Shakur Stewart die in November of 2008? And Kim Porter died 10 years later in November of 2018. So how did that make any sense? It didn't. Now, together, Burgess, Mitchell, and News Nation have caused profound reputational and economic injury and severe prejudice to Mr. Combs. In this action, Mr. Combs seeks money, damages, including punitive damages, for the severe harms the defendant's false and defamatory statements have inflicted on him. Well, this is what happens when truth comes to light. Now, plaintiff Sean Combs is an individual who presently resides in Brooklyn, New York. Defendant Burgess, okay, we're going to skip past all that. So these people are just liars out here peddling falsehoods just for kicks. Okay, so now factual background. Sean Combs became famous for his extraordinary, we're going to skip past all that because we all know how Diddy got famous. Okay, so in September of 2024, Mr. Combs was indicted in the Southern District of New York on federal racketeering and S-trafficking charges. Mr. Combs entered a plea of not guilty to those on September the 17th of 2024 and emphatically and unequivocally denied that he was guilty of S-trafficking or racketeering. And he wasn't lying, because he sure wasn't guilty of that. Following an 8-week trial in the Southern District of New York, a jury acquitted Mr. Combs of S-trafficking and racketeering in July of 2025. Neither the criminal indictment, the trial, nor the verdict involved allegations or findings of sexual assaults of minors or the use of hidden cameras. Okay, the government did not call Burgess as a witness at trial, nor did it represent any video evidence, or did it present any video evidence matching the description of the videos Burgess claimed that he possessed and provided to the government. Defendant Burgess has been described as a one-time industry bit player and a fringe character. In the past year, seeking to capitalize on the media's insatiable appetite for celebrity scandal, Burgess has gone to great lengths to invent and publicize outrageous falsehoods about Mr. Combs. In media interviews, Burgess claims that he has worked in music. I think he said about 30 years, didn't he? In the industry for decades. Yet there exists no public record of any professional achievements, and he left no detectable footprint on the industry prior to his recent campaign to malign Mr. Combs. His malicious conduct, which according to the New York Times, has only amped up the circus-like frenzy surrounding Mr. Combs' case. Okay, it is intended to garner publicity and profit from the attention surrounding Mr. Combs' legal proceedings. Okay, I told you all how many people were feasting off of Diddy, okay, just for clicks and views and monetization. Burgess has never met Mr. Combs and has never had any relationship with anyone in Mr. Combs' family. Remember how he said he knew Diddy for 30 years? Okay, please pay attention. Nevertheless, Burgess has claimed on multiple occasions that Kim Porter, the mother of 4 children with Mr. Combs, who died in 2018, provided him with a copy of her memoir and videos depicting Mr. Combs as assaulting inebriated celebrities and minors. How did the lie? The absolute lies. Those close to Miss Porter, including her children and her roommate for over 20 years, had never heard of Burgess before he made this utterly implausible and completely false claim. Burgess has made this false claim numerous of times to the press and in social media appearances. In one such interview broadcast on or about October the 31st of 2024 on the Atwood Unleashed YouTube channel, Burgess elaborated on his false claim that he received these materials directly from Kim Porter, but he also said he got them from Shakur Stewart, if you remember, okay? Just lying. Now, host Sean Atwood, whose YouTube channel boasts 946,000 subscribers, including, upon information and belief, numerous subscribers in New York, as Burgess, upon information and belief, must have known, introduced Burgess in one interview, but noted that he has certainly been making waves on the internet. Atwood also noted that we've had so much interest in this one. Now, on the broadcast, Burgess falsely claimed that Miss Porter enlisted the help of a music industry mutual acquaintance to put her files in Burgess's hands. Specifically, Burgess claimed that this individual called Burgess and told him, I got something for you. Kim told me to give you. I mean, just the lies. And here's the thing. Sean Atwood should have had sense enough to know that this man was lying just like I did, because Sean Atwood is not stupid. He did it for clicks and views too. Okay, that's what he did. All right. And another thing is how you know that Sean Atwood is a liar who lies. Yes, Sean Atwood, I'm talking to you. At the end of the day, he's the same person who vouched for Tisa Tale with some of the lies that she's told. You see, the liars always protect other liars so that it looks like they're all telling the truth, but they're really just lying. But let me continue. Now, goes on to say she's got something she wants you to work with. Burgess went on to claim, again falsely, that the same individual later met Burgess in New York and delivered to him the first of several flash drives containing the memoir and videos that Miss Porter supposedly intended for him to have. Even though, even according to Mr. Burgess, Miss Porter had no more than a passing was no more than a had no more than a passing acquaintance with Burgess. During the interview, Atwood posted still images that Burgess insinuated had come from the videos that Burgess falsely claimed Miss Porter had provided him. They described one as depicting Justin Bieber, a famous recording artist, kissing an unidentified male. Atwood asked, is this picture legit? Burgess responded, yes, definitely. Scoville then asked Burgess, now this is Scoville is someone who's usually on Sean Atwood's channel. Scoville then asked Burgess, how freaked out were you the first time you got a look at some of the images? Shocker or what? Burgess responded that he was freaked out because my daughter was a listener of Justin Bieber. You understand? Burgess stated that Bieber was a child at the time. Now, I want you all to pay attention to something. I'm going to wrap this up in a second because I want to move on and give my thoughts on a video that Too Strong did on Tisa Tales and the lies that she's been telling. But with that being said, listen, if you all remember when I interviewed that clown, I asked him when he was talking about these videos and Justin Bieber and all this, that, and the third. And I said, you weren't afraid of getting arrested by the feds or having the feds coming to visit you after you're sitting there admitting that you looked at kitty corn? Okay, because he said Justin was underage. So I said, you weren't concerned about that? He was like, oh no, I don't have it anymore. He was like, the feds came and took it. Remember, he told that lie. He said the feds raided his house and came and snatched it up. At least that's what he told so many lies I can't keep track. He said that on somebody's channel, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he told me something similar, but then he said something about throwing some of it in the fire. Okay, y'all remember that? And then come to find out he was never raided by the feds. He simply got a subpoena for him to go and testify before that grand jury. Because see, the prosecution, thirsty as they were to get Diddy on a life sentence and RICO and the whole RICO, whatever, S trafficking, racketeering, so they could snatch up his wealth and all of that and send him on down the road. Well, they had him come in to testify before the grand jury because they just knew this man has got flash drives and proof that Diddy's a whole S trafficker. Okay, and that he's done things to people that are not of age. That's what they thought. And so, sadly for them, he was lying. They thought he was going to help them build their case, but all he did was make them look even more foolish than they already do. So, with that all been said, Burgess went on to compare Mr. Combs to Lucifer, claiming that Mr. Combs, like Lucifer, destroyed bodies, he destroyed careers. He could get you where you want to be at, but you're going to give up the back end. Y'all hear this? Burgess also commented on an image that appeared to depict Mr. Combs with his arm around an adult woman's shoulder. Schofield falsely suggested that the photograph evidenced sexual misconduct with minors, saying, yeah, it's just it's disturbing how the number of people who appear to be underage and all of these things. You know, I think that's probably what we're going to see on these superseding indictments. It's gotta be, man. It just keeps coming back to the underage thing again and again and again. It's terrifying. Burgess and Schofield's statements about the images on the Atwood Unleashed broadcast were specifically and maliciously intended to convince viewers falsely that Burgess possessed and Atwood and Schofield had seen evidence of Mr. Combs, okay, that Mr. Combs had engaged in abuse of celebrities and minors, even though they knew those claims were false when they made them. On the same broadcast, Burgess insinuated falsely that talking about Mr. Combs and the fake memoir and videos put him in danger for his life. Okay, Burgess also described his efforts to market the fake Kim Porter memoir on Amazon.com, which he initially gave the ghoulish title, Kim's lost word. Not the ghoulish title. Y'all hear that? As word of the purported memoir had circulated, Kim Porter's children and the best friend publicly discredited Burgess his claims that he had received the personal files of Miss Porter's posting on social media and informing the press that Miss Porter had never written a memoir or maintained a journal. And let me tell you all something. I'm going to stop right there. I think we've heard about enough, but they're being sued for $100 million, and I hope Diddy gets every damn dime. Okay. And I want you all to pay attention because Tisa tells for her lying self, she tried so hard out of desperation, clearly, and clout chasing as usual. But if you all remember, Tisa tells lied so hard after she bought that fake book, read it online to her foolish subscribers and who don't care about her lies because all they love is tabloid flavored gossip. Well, and she's to deliver on that. That's what she's good at. But so facts is not her thing. You see, it's not her forte. But remember how she read that book online and then she kept trying to prove, because I kept saying it was fake from day one. I told y'all it was fake. Even before Courtney Burgess's lying self came out of the woodwork, I told you all that book was fake. And so, but she kept trying to debunk me, kept saying, oh, it's true. It's been proven by the feds that it was true. She had a whole story that she did and lied and said that the feds verified it, if I'm not mistaken. She also said that Diddy's sons verified it. Now, the reason she told that lie is because the sons filed a cease and desist for them to take the book off of Amazon, which it was taken down. And I think Albie Sure filed one too. With that all being said, she tried to say that all those things that they were doing, or no, the sons actually said any proceeds from the book, they wanted it. So she said that proves that it's true. No, it doesn't prove that it's true. It proves that they don't want anybody profiting off of lies about their deceased mother. Okay, a Black woman who lived her life with grace, dignity, poise, and style. So they felt like if anybody made money off of it, lying on their mother's life, then they want the money. So that person doesn't profit. Okay, so that's why they did that. And then, yes, okay, Vince I Am said, no, she didn't. Yes, she did, beloved, absolutely. Okay. Shadowfly, that Crazy Beach area says, sounds like Kool-Aid to me, wig too. Okay, but let's talk about some more of her lies because recently she did a video and I'm going to share this on the screen. This is Marlon from Too Strong breaking it down and calling her out on her lies and BS. And she's calling people stupid and dumb. But I want y'all to pay attention to how stupid and dumb she is. She's in this same video talking about who's Diddy going to get to write a letter on his behalf. And she starts naming people. And then she says, she names Fat Man Scoop. Girl, Fat Man Scoop literally died August of 2024, didn't he? She is so dumb herself, but once called other people disparaging names. But let's get into it. Now, I'm going to put an overlay on this because we're going to listen to Marlon's take on her lies. And I guess, again, everybody's hating on her. Okay, according to her foolish subscribers, they're just mad because we're calling out the lies. And so they have to be forced to reconcile with the fact that they listen to lies for a living. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention at the end of the day. And could somebody please tell her to lighten up this filter on her face? Because she's looking sort of emoji-like, in my opinion. Now, she's a pretty young lady. I don't know why she feels the need the filter, and especially so drastic, because she looks like a whole emoji. But let's continue.
Remember? Well, guess what? That shook up the celebrity world and let people know you cannot use your power or your influence, hear me out, to write a letter in support of a monster and think that your public and your fans aren't going to hear about it. Now, you are allowed.
Hold on. Let me scroll back a bit so you all get the gist of what this fool is saying.
Hungry Root is the easiest way to eat healthy. Hungry Root is kind of like having your own personal shopper.
You know what? Even the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy, had friends. This man ate the head of a bat on stage. He had friends. Caitlyn Jenner, he has friends. And he ran people over. Transition. Epstein had friends. There's always at least somebody for somebody out there. So why is it far-fetched to believe that he got friends that could write letters on his behalf? Anyway.
Now, Gina is the only dum-dum out there, and she's fine to be like, I'm not a follower, dummy. You are the epitome of a follower. You followed everything Jane did. You followed everything Cassie did. You followed everything Kim did. You are the epitome of a follower. But more importantly, you are the definition of a pawn. You know.
Chief Jonesy, the answer to your question, is that a wig? Yes, beloved. That is absolutely a wig. And that's why we call her wig number 2. Okay, because we already got wig 1.
When you're actually playing chess, not checker, the pawns, that you're just like, it's okay, I got 20 more of them. She's the epitome of a pawn. Now, let me get to my point. Diddy was getting a little traction and people willing to write letters of support for him. Now, here's the thing. In those letters of support, they would only do it because, this is what streets are saying, if it could be held confidential.
First of all, how the hell would she know that? See, I want you all to pay attention because this is how you know her followers are stupid, because she's saying that the people would only write the letters of support for Diddy if it was being confidential. How would she know that? Did these people call her up and tell her, say, girl, look, I'm about to write a letter to the judge on behalf of Diddy, but I'm only going to do this if it's kept private? How would she know that? Ask yourself. Has there been any reports of any such things being said? No. And I told you all days ago that whenever this fool says the streets are saying, my legal eagle said, she's always lying. Please pay attention. She's always lying.
So you, okay, hold on. I don't want to say you're saying it, but I'm going to say you're saying it. So you're lying. You're lying. Streets telling you this? The streets are saying that they're only writing letters of support if they can be hidden. Prove that.
She can't.
Oh, wait, I forget. There's no need to prove it because that probably didn't happen.
Remember when Danny Masterman got convicted of grape and Mina Kunis and Ashton Kutcher?
Did this idiot just say Danny Masterman? His name is Danny Masterson. I told y'all she can't talk right.
Wrote a secret letter. They wrote a secret letter saying, oh, please, it's not that bad. Please have mercy. Remember when they wrote that secret letter? And then they got embarrassed and had to.
The letter was not secret because I read the letter to you all when Danny Masterson went to prison where he belongs. Okay. I read you all the letter. So how was it private? How was it secret? And how does she know about it?
Make that dirty, stinky, wet t-shirt apology in front of their mansion, trying to look like they were sitting outside of a barn.
So how is it? Anyway, again, it's secret, but you know about it. So obviously it's not secret, right? Okay, cool.
Remember? Well, guess what? That shook up the celebrity world. It let people know you cannot use your power or your influence, hear me out, to write a letter in support of a monster and think that your public and your fans aren't going to hear about it. Now, you are allowed to do it. And if you don't care what your fans are going to think, do it. Nobody's saying you have to, but you are not allowed to now do it in silence. You
prove that. I want you to repeat what the judge said and see if that applies to Diddy. That's all I want you to do. You mentioned something to do with the prosecution.
Hold on. Neppin for life. It says, or how is this pronounced? Neppin for life. I hope I said that right. Said it's a piece. I got one on now. Okay, y'all heard that. So for anybody that was wondering, is it a wig? Yes, it's a whole wig piece. Okay, pay attention. Thank you for that, beloved.
I want to see you apply that by the judge's standard on the defense. Otherwise, if you can't, that's a blatant lie. Okay, cool.
You want to use your fame and your influence and all, I think, but you don't want the people that got you your fame and your influence to actually know what you're actually doing. In writing this, and this was not for the prosecution, this was for anybody that is thinking about writing a letter in support of Sean Diddy Combs.
Prove that. That's not what you read, though. But that ain't what you read. Like, I'm confused. How can people continually do this? You just read something from the judge that didn't say what you keep repeating the judge said.
Okay, so listen, guys, I'm going to go back to what she read. Okay, I'm going to go back to what she read. Let me write down where I'm at right now, 11 minutes and 26 seconds. So she actually read what the judge's words were, and it was nothing as what she's saying. She's such a liar. But let me just scroll back. I think it's at the 7-minute mark.
It takes 90 seconds for this NASA-engineered AC cool down your room. It's smaller than a toaster.
Hate. When you hate somebody, y'all saying that the man trafficked a certain specific kid. No proof of that. You're still saying it. So if y'all can come with information against him, unsubstantiated, why is it impossible to think that his supporters can come with substantiated things in his defense? I'm confused at this so much, like it's not even funny. But then again, I remember something. And this is a conversation Corey and I had years ago. It's been years. And it revolved around the word hate. When you hate somebody, whoo-wee, you just want to see the destruction and mayhem plague their lives. You just cannot wait to see them disintegrate in front of you. You will put up a lot of things to destroy somebody when you hate them, whether warranted or not. You want to see them burn. That's this.
You guys, let me put you down on some legal gamemanship.
Please.
Judge Aaron has been out playing with Diddy. Why? Because that wasn't for the prosecution.
But they. So now you're telling me, even if the prosecution submits something and the judge speaks to
this, okay? Listen to this.
Sorry, guys. I had to scroll back some more for you all to hear what she was going to read. I was at the wrong timestamp. Okay. After this, we'll go back to the previous mark.
He said in the response, right? Memo endorsement as to Sean Combs, letter by the U.S. attorneys as to Sean Combs addressed to Judge Aaron by Mitzi, letter of redactions, endorsement. That's fine for now. But the party should not expect that any submissions made in connection with the upcoming sentencing will be sealed. Everything should be filed on the public docket, absent advance authorization to do so authorized. Now,
but hear me out. You said that the prosecution submitted something, not the defense. Okay. The prosecution submitted something to do with the sentencing, and it was directly the prosecution that did that. So then it would never apply to. How is it reflecting that? How is this a warning to Diddy when it was the prosecution that submitted something that he spoke about? I'm confused how Diddy got dragged into the person that being reprimanded when he didn't have a say in. He didn't put anything in there. This. Continue.
a lot of dummies were like, "Ooh, Jane's gonna have to reveal her her name." She is not. Why? Because it's already in a previous court order. Oh, the victims can't use pseudonyms. The ones that were agreed to use pseudonyms already 100% can.
Interesting. She's talking about the victims using pseudonyms because she's the idiot who said their names on her lives while we were at the trial. And she was supposed to be banned from the court, but because of her ties to the prosecution, allegedly, okay, she was not banned from the court because she said both of the Jane Doe's names. That's what she did. Okay, she said Mia's name, and whose real name isn't Mia. That was a pseudonym that she chose to use. And she said Jane Doe's name. And then she's so idiotic that after she realized she said it, I don't know why the fool didn't just edit her video, but rather than edit the video after she said the person's name, she was like, "Oh, we're playing Scooby-Doo. You know, on Scooby-Doo, they got Deb, they got Veronica, they got, and she's just trying to just make up stupid stuff to try to cover her tracks. All she had to do was edit the video. She's so dumb. But let's continue. But she calls other people dummies all the time.
But see, here's the thing. I talked to a few legal eagles, okay? I talked to my girl Alfie at Black Letter Law. I talked to a few people, and they had something more interesting to say. The first reaction was, who in the world was going to put pen to paper and write a letter in support of Diddy?
Plenty. Let's go down the line. Twin daughter 1, twin daughter 2, Christian. All of his kids can write letters. family members, his mother, friends of his, people who are still in his camp. So, I mean, who? What do you mean who? There are scores of people.
Remember how I told you guys? Remember how I told you guys that when she says she talked to her legal eagles, that she's lying? Remember how I told you guys that? And so I just want you all to pay attention because she is lying yet again. Okay, please pay attention, beloveds. She is lying yet again. Okay, but let's keep listening to the bullshit.
That witnessed something that happened and would be like, nah, I'm writing a letter into Diddy's defense. They don't have that. What? How is that a right mind issue when we can blatantly see on the surface that the prosecution didn't do their job? And when they did say they did their job, they lied on the man. Y'all been saying the man did kids. No proof to that, but y'all still saying it.
I have to prove something to you all. Okay, I have to prove something to you all. She said that her friend Alfie at Black Letter Law. Okay, it says this is a former law firm in Florida, Black Letter Law. This firm was voluntarily dissolved December the 9th of 2020. This place doesn't even exist any longer. I want you all to pay attention. So did she really talk to somebody named Alfie at Black Letter Law? Okay, let me just pull this up because, honey, I absolutely cannot with the lies and the BS. Okay, let me just pull this up. Chat GPT is your friend. This is how you catch her in lies, people. This is how you catch her in lies. Please pay attention. Okay, because a liar don't care. A lie doesn't care who tells it. Y'all see this on the screen? Let me remove the overlay. Y'all see that? I just typed in Black Letter Law to see if it even existed because she's such a liar. You have to double check everything she says. And here's what it says. Former law firm in Florida, Black Letter Law, PA. There was a firm because I typed in, is there a firm called Black Letter Law? And let me just tell you all, the reason she named a firm when she said her legal eagles this time is because I already told you all days ago that when she says her legal eagles, she's always lying. So now she's trying to name a law firm to make it look like she's telling the truth. But I'm here to let you know she's still a liar who lies because this is what it says. There was a firm named Black Letter Law, PA in St. Petersburg, Florida, incorporated on August the 9th of 2013, located at 260 First Avenue South, Suite 200. Okay, the president was Shane H. Davis. The firm was voluntarily dissolved on December the 9th of 2020. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. Please stop lying. At this point, ma'am, just give it up. Okay, because I'm going to debunk her every time. And I don't care who gets mad or who thinks I'm hating or whatever they think. I'm going to continue to call out her lies. And so should everyone else on YouTube. Okay, but let's continue.
Y'all saying that the man trafficked a certain specific kid. No proof of that. You're still saying it. So if y'all can come with information against him, unsubstantiated, why is it impossible to think that his supporters can come with substantiated things in his defense? I'm confused at this so much, like it's not even funny. But then again, I remember something. And this is a conversation Corey and I had years ago. It's been years. And it revolved around the word hate. When you hate somebody, whoo-wee, you just want to see the destruction and mayhem plague their lives. You just cannot wait to see them disintegrate in front of you. You will put up a lot of things to destroy somebody when you hate them, whether warranted or not. You want to see them burn. That's this.
You guys, let me put you down on some legal gamemanship.
Please.
Judge Aaron is not playing with Diddy. Why? Because that wasn't for the prosecution.
But they. So now you're telling me, even if the prosecution submits something and the judge speaks to the prosecution, he's not talking to the prosecution. He's talking to the defense via the prosecution. So it's looking like he's talking to the prosecution, but what he's really doing is talking to the defense and telling them so and so and such and such.
Woo,
The
honey,
judge
she
is
is just
okay,
like Trump.
anyway,
Vince.
you know what? Leaving it at that. You see, I caught myself there. Corey's rubbing off. He is.
Okay. That was for these secret Diddy supporters.
Secret.
Remember when we kept asking Diddy, where's your celebrity friends? Where's everybody that cares about you? What exactly is going on? Diddy right now is asking everybody around him, from billionaires on down, to do a Gina and write a letter in support.
How does she know this? Did he tell her this? Did Diddy call her up and let her know? How does she know what the hell Diddy is doing? Oh, you see, this is why her supporters are so stupid, because how do they believe this? She never has any receipts. And when she does, she's taking them from some other content creator, specifically me. Okay. But other than that, she's just peddling lies and fabricated stories that she makes up. But let's continue.
And what's wrong with that? Like, I'm trying to figure what is going on. Oh, so now you got a problem with the man retaining friends. Marilyn Manson had friends. You seen him lately? Okay. Charles Manson had friends. Ed Gein had friends.
Everybody should be asking themselves, why doesn't she have this same energy for Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, Vince McMahon, Peter Nygaard? Why hasn't she reported on any of those people again? Oh, that's right, because they don't look like Diddy. Okay, she does not like black men, and that's just the fact. And I think the reason she doesn't like black men is because word on the street, as she said, is that her boyfriend is a male identifying woman. Okay, that's what somebody told me weeks ago. But let's continue.
What is? You know what? You know what? Even the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy, had friends. This man ate the head up a bat on stage. He had friends. Caitlyn Jenner, he has friends. And he ran people over. Transition. Epstein had friends. There's always at least somebody for somebody out there. So why is it far-fetched she believed that he got friends that could write letters on his behalf? Anyway.
Now, Gina is the only dum-dum out there. And
Hold on. Vince I Am said, how does she know all this information? Is she a psychic, astro projector, a monitoring spirit, or what? Oh, I love to hear it.
she's fine to be like, I'm not a follower, dummy. You are the epitome of a follower. You followed everything Jane did. You followed everything Cassie did. You followed everything Kim did. You are the epitome of a follower. But more importantly, you are the definition of a pawn. You know, when you're actually playing chess, not checker, the pawns, that you're just like, it's okay, I got 20 more of them. She is the epitome of a pawn. Now, let me get to my point. Diddy was getting a little traction and people willing to write letters of support for him. Now, here's the thing. In those letters of support, they would only do it because, this is what streets are saying, if it could be held confidential.
Adrian said, Queen, a male identifying woman. Wow. Well, that's what I heard. I can't substantiate that, but I swear to God, another YouTuber told me that weeks ago. Okay. And at the end of the day, that all makes sense because remember when me and Ratchet rolled up on her at the trial and we called her out? And then she was on her live calling me a male identifying woman. And I said, what is she trying to say? I look like a man. But that's likely why she said it, because she has one, allegedly. Please pay attention. This is why she hates black men, I do believe.
So you, okay, hold on. I don't want to say you're saying it, but I'm going to say you're saying it.
Here's something most drivers don't know. The older your car, the cheaper your insurance should be. If your vehicle was made...
So you're lying. You're lying. Streets telling you this? The streets are saying that they're only writing letters of support if they can be hidden. Prove that. Oh, wait, I forget. There's no need to prove it because it probably didn't happen.
Queen Sam said, didn't Diddy have a friend who actually showed up at the court to support him? Yes. And his name is Kanye. And not just Kanye, Charlucci was there. Okay. And what's the other guy's rapper that did that song with Diddy? G-Dep. G-Dep was there also. Okay. Also, there was his chief bodyguard. What's his name? Fahim Muhammad. He was there. Okay. His baby moms were there. She doesn't think that any of these people that came to see him in court could write letters. She's just so dumb. Okay. So dumb.
Remember when Danny Masterman got convicted of rape and Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher wrote a secret letter? They wrote a secret letter saying, oh, please, it's not that bad. Please have mercy. Remember when they...
I'm going to fast forward back to the original stamp where I left off at. Miss Sheila says, I've been saying she doesn't care for Black people, period. No, she actually doesn't. And in fact, I'll tell you this. Another YouTuber told me, and this person has been on my channel. They've been on my channel. I'm not going to call their name, but they've been on my channel on a panel discussion. And they told me that while we were at the trial, because people were saying that Tisa doesn't like Black people and specifically Black men, that she asked that person to get on her live one day. And the woman said later she found out that the reason Tisa probably said that or got her on the live was because people were saying that she didn't like Black women. And this person has locks in her hair or whatnot. And she said she thinks that's why she had to come on there, because she's Black, she has locks or whatever, trying to prove that she likes Black women. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what they told me they felt as though she asked them to come on there for. Okay, so I want y'all to please pay attention. Then she'll say, oh, they say I don't like Black women, but I'm a Black woman. Are you? Are you a Black woman? This is the same woman that called us wild dogs. Who calls Black people animals? Don't racist people call us that? But she called us wild dogs who were foaming at the mouth and lied and said we threatened to kill her and to do her worse than Diddy did Cassie. Oh, we should have sued her for that. Okay, please pay attention.
Wrote that secret letter, and then they got...
Say what you keep repeating the judge said. That's a blatant lie. Like, that's not even a half truth. That is a all the way to Timbuktu and back lie. But truth is essential in this world, right?
Unless there are extenuating circumstances, and I believe all those circumstances have been addressed in the court of law, unless there are extenuating circumstances, if you write a letter in support of Sean Diddy Combs, it will be put on the public docket. You will be put on Judge Aaron and the Southern District of New York's Summer Jam screen.
But that's, again, not what the letter said. I understand that the emotionality attached to it makes people believe that's what it said. Again, the people that brought this information to the judge were the ones that the judge addressed. Everybody wants to think, at least on her side, that, oh, we've talked about one person, he's going to talk about all of them, but he didn't. He's been specific so far, right? Last I checked, this particular judge, when he wants to address Diddy, he does, right? Cool. Why didn't he?
Come forward, support that man, but there will be hell to pay. And baby, I love to see it, because right about now, I do believe that we are entering in a post world. You want to say that mess with your chest? Everybody come out and do a Gina special. Since you want to say that mess with your chest, go on and say it. Do a Gina special. Go on. Let's see how many people. And when you take away the night, are going to come out and support Sean Diddy Combs. How many people? Because right now Gina is looking like his day one, his ride or die, the crazy bee.
Again, people, if you follow the case and not the emotionality of people covering the case, you'll find one very important thing that they cannot dispute. No amount of emotion, no amount of rage bait, no amount of clickbait, none of that is going to negate one very important factor that they seem always wanting to avoid. What's that? They have nothing on him. All the crap that they espoused from the get-go, they were going to prove, Never proved it. Not a lick did they prove. Not one iota. Everything was based on emotion.
Are you researching dental implants?
There's a lot of dental their teeth in the day process.
Okay, Deronda says we need to see them tarot cards that she used. They had to have been a deck of crazy 8 cards. Okay, and if she really knew how to read tarot cards, how come she didn't predict the outcome of what was going to happen with Diddy? Okay, after she peddled all of those foolish lies. And here's the thing, I want you all to pay attention. The reason this woman is so mad and she keeps talking about Diddy supporters are so stupid, they're so this, they're so that, and Gina's dumb and all this, is because she's so angry because she made a whole fool of herself. The only dummy is her. She sat there and lied and lied and lied for days and weeks about Diddy, what was going on with the trial. It was all lies. Like I told you guys, she would leave out of the courtroom, run outside to beat all the rest of us to the punch because she knew we were going to come out there and report the truth. So she'd run out there and tell lies. Wasn't even in the courtroom. She was in New York, yes, but most of the time she was not even in the courtroom. She was outside doing lies, okay, telling lies and BS and painting narratives, okay, as she allegedly was paid to do by the prosecution, okay, because that's what the word was on the streets. All right, that's what the word was on the streets. And here's the thing, while we were in New York, a bunch of us content creators and even some of the journalists, the ones who look like me, we would all go and have dinner. We would all go hang out together, just go to the park, just do all sorts of things, go to events or whatever. She was never invited. No one ever invited her. You know why no one invited her? Because everybody knew she was a liar who lies, and no one wanted to be bothered with her. Nobody invited her to shite, okay? That's why no one defended her when me and Ratchet called her a liar who lies, because everybody there knew she was lying. Everybody knew she's running outside reporting stuff because we'd all be sitting in the court thinking, where the hell is she going? Why is she going outside to do a live? We haven't even heard anything yet. The trial hasn't even gotten started yet this morning. They just brought in the jury. So nobody was fooling her. Nobody was fooling with her, period. The only friend that she had there was Trent Out Loud, the guy from Canada. He was the one that sat there and talked to her, you know, but that's the same one who said something about seeing the freak off tapes that I said I was sitting right behind him and I didn't see them. So I don't believe that he did either, but he said he did, but I don't believe it. And because none of the rest of us saw it, that's all I'm saying. So liars who lie, hanging out with liars. Okay, that's all that was. But nobody was checking for her. Okay, please pay attention. Nobody. And I guess we all were hating. Okay, that's what her fans want to think.
And they don't care, because they had in mind what he was before, and they just ran with that. Are we saying that Diddy is a good man? No. Are we saying he's a pervert? Of course. But all the things they announced that they were going to find him guilty on, they never even brought up. So whose fault is that? Diddy's? His supporters? Nah, fam, that's on y'all. Y'all believe the hype. Now you mad because your hype failed. Now you're trying to find a way to point fingers to everybody. Because of this, because of that, and it's because of that. No. You bit the bullet, and you didn't realize that it hadn't fired from the chamber yet.
That's always on the bottom, but never leaves his side. Who else is doing it? Where are Diddy's celebrity friends? Are going to put a letter in talking about it? You want that on Access Entertainment?
Hold on, let me read a few of these comments. Queen Sam said, helping her man pick out a new dress. Miss Sheila said, does anyone remember some days when she would come online with her hair looking like a bird's nest, talking crazy? She'd be putting on lipstick, stumbling over her words. I knew she was crazy then. Y'all are something else.
Want that on ABC? You want that on CBS? Do you? Go out and say, Judge Aaron is literally making sure that anybody that comes out in support of Diddy will have to be known.
Now, what I'm going to do, because I'm a fair guy, I'm going to, once she's done with her whole soliloquy, we'll go back to that portion where she read the letter. Now you've heard her flesh it out, okay? But I wanted to finish all the way through before we go back to that point. I'll make sure we write down what she says, but please remember all the stuff she's saying. Cool.
And baby, we love to see it. And the fact that there are people that are pro Diddy trying to spin this as if this is a loss for the prosecution already got aliases. Jane don't ever have to use her real name. Judge Aaron knows who she is. None of those people ever have to say who they actually.
She said Judge Aaron already knows who they are. Well, first of all, we all know who they are because she exposed them online in real time. That's what she did. So everybody knows who they are at this point. All they have to do is had watched her video.
Really are. Do you know why? Because they were allowed, and it's already under court order, and now she can sign her name. This don't have nothing to do with anybody with the pseudonyms, and anybody that's salivating, think it's going to be exposed. You guys are stupid.
Okay. Thank you for calling us what you think we are. I won't do that. I'm learning that is a pointless effort.
Now she's calling people stupid, but just listen to her. Who does she have room to call stupid? D Major Scaling Up says, Queen, would you live in New York City? No, sir. Absolutely not. It's nice to visit, but I do not want to live there. It's too fast paced for me. It's just too busy. It's just too much going on. And I absolutely love Atlanta. I love Atlanta, honey. I don't want to live anywhere but here.
However, I will point this out to you. We'll go back to your own readings and see what it says at the end of all of this.
Dumb, because you might not realize it, but you are repeating pro Diddy propaganda.
It's propaganda now. Okay, so here's my question, Miss Pro Diddy propaganda. Did Diddy traffic minors like you espoused he did?
In other news, Georgia residents are going to be happy to hear this. It just came out. There's a new website where any Georgia...
Did Diddy traffic minors at his parties like you espoused he did? Now, remember, if you truly believe this and you are on, like, you know, 10 toes down, you should be able to say it, right? You shouldn't be afraid because it's the truth, right? So you should say it. Go ahead and say, Diddy trafficked kids. You know why you won't do that, though? That's defamation. That's yeah. You know you can't prove it, and nor did your prosecution. So you see, people can defend Diddy on many things. Diddy did not mess with kids. And they can write a letter saying to the judge, y'all are judging this man based on things you never proved he did.
That is absolute facts, what Marlon just said, okay? Carly said, at this point, if her supporters don't know something's wrong with her, then something's wrong with them. Well, I absolutely believe something's wrong with them. See, her supporters, they're liars too. That's why they don't mind her lying. They're liars too, because remember, when people were doing all these videos about her being a liar, and people are still doing the videos, as you can see, but when we were doing these videos about her being a liar, some of her reporters were leaving comments on people's channels saying, you know, at least a couple of them that I saw were saying stuff like, oh, they shouldn't have attacked her when she was at the trial. You know, they were just hating on her. And one of them spit on her, and that was not called for. Nobody spit on her. No, nobody spat on her. Okay. And you don't think she would have called the police on them if they had? She's a whole Karen. Okay. She's a whole Karen. Nobody spat on her, but her subscribers, just to try to prove or make it seem as though she's not a liar who lies, that's the things that they would do. Okay. Or try to say that everybody's hating. The thing that's interesting is, here's what people do. When people can't debunk the truth and they can't argue with it, all they do is start spewing insults. That's what her subscribers do. Oh, y'all are just hating. No, they're just mad because she was on ABC. Nobody cares that she was on ABC. We all could have been on ABC if we were saying the same foolish stuff that she's saying, because what she was doing was perpetuating the same talking points as many of the lamestream media reporters. Okay? Because none of them either would ever come out and report that there was anything good done by the defense. They would always act like the prosecution is winning this whole thing, but the prosecution lost, sadly. Okay? And let's not forget how she said weeks ago that the judge was going to give Diddy 20 years because people were threatening her and all of that. The judge, it's going to backfire because that's going to make the judge give Diddy a stiffer penalty. He's going to get 20 years. How would she know what the judge is going to do before the judge has told anybody? Okay, I mean, it's obvious she's just a liar. But let's continue.
And I would bet there are multiple celebrities that would write and have their name behind that.
Okay, that was for anybody that's going to come out. So who is going to be dumb enough to come out and put paper to pen? I mean, maybe Ray J. What does he have to lose? Definitely Stevie J.
Why couldn't it be an actual victim who wasn't a victim that was named, but they wouldn't get named? You're missing a lot of information that could possibly be one of those people on the prosecution side.
What does he have to lose? Who else? You think Misa gonna write a letter? You think Sarah's gonna write a letter? Do you think Dana's gonna write a letter?
You don't know either. They could.
Listen, here's how stupid she is. She just named Dana and Misa. Of course they're going to write letters, fool. They were at the trial to support this man. They were at the trial to support him. So why wouldn't they write a letter? They have children by him. Do you all see how stupid she is? This girl makes no sense. Fatima says someone needs to send some of her clips to Diddy's defense. Okay, absolutely. Cherry Red Zone says Nancy Grace brought Tisa on to just show how messy she is. Nancy seems sarcastic with her. Yeah, because Nancy Grace knew she was lying. She knew she was lying. There were times when Tisa would be telling lies and Nancy would say, did that really happen? Because she knew that it didn't really happen, okay? Please pay attention. She was all for kicks and giggles, honey. They were laughing at her. She thought she was really doing it by being on that show, honey. They were making a fool of her. And Nancy just wanted her to come on there and say all the negative things about Diddy. Okay, that's all that was. To get a black person to come on there or a black looking person to come on there and say those negative things about Diddy. That was the only reason she was on there.
And since they were part of the case, you know what? They can go under pseudonyms. It's weird and it's funny. So weird that there are tons of people who might have said something about him before, saw how the case panned out, and realized, you know what? I changed my mind. And since if I'm going to go based on what you say, if they're already part of the case, they can use pseudonyms. That's what you said. So watch them use it.
Who else is writing letters in support? And we're going to read all your business. We already know Gina got it. You think Young Miami? You think Saucy Santana going to write a letter? He was fun. Was he? Put that in pen to paper. Let's see. Diddy about to find out who his real friends are. Who else you going to think is going to write a letter?
So she doesn't think that Diddy already knows who his real friends are? She doesn't think that he already knows who his real friends are? Luna said Tisa going to taking drive-through orders soon at McDonald's. Honey, somebody's going to sue her behind in a minute. Nancy gave Tisa the Candace Owens treatment, the token Negro butt end of the jokes. Exactly, and she's too stupid to realize that. She thought she was really doing it on Nancy Grace, honey, or shall I say Nasty Grace? Okay, licensed federal officer says Tisa's elevator doesn't go all the way up. Big Glow said Tisa is pathetic. I absolutely agree with all of the talking points you all are putting in the chat.
You think Ron Burkle's going to write a letter? Do you? You think who's everybody else? You think Busta Rhymes? You think Fat Man Scoop? Is that it? Fat Man Scoop? Brooklyn? You think Fat Man Scoop? You think he's going to write a letter?
No, I actually don't think he's going to write a letter because he died like a year ago, fool. But she wants to call everybody else stupid. Y'all hear that? Did she really just ask, was Fat Man Scoop going to write a letter? That man died August of 2024. Oh, but let's let her cook.
Fat Joe could. There are tons of people that could. Yes, tons of them. You think everybody in Didi's circle, everybody has distanced themselves from it? You think that for real? Come on, man. Come on, man. Look, there are plenty of people that have submitted letters in his defense. This year, August. You want to know somebody? Gina did so, and that's Diddy's ex, by the way. And she was labeled victim 3. You know, there are tons of people that could do this thing. In her letter, this is what she says. She says that he has not been violent in many years. That's in his defense.
Okay, so let me just share this on the screen really quick. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. Adrian said Tisa's pulling a Stacey Dash. Right. Remember when Stacey Dash was talking about DMX a year after he died? Talking about rest in peace. Girl, the man's been dead. She's absolutely pulling it. Now, here's what it says right here. Okay. Fat Man Scoop, whose real name was Isaac Freeman III, died due to hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. He collapsed on stage during a performance in Hamden, Connecticut on August 30th of 2024 and passed away the next day at the age of 56. So I'm sorry, but yes, or shall I say no, he's not going to be writing a letter. Fool. The poor man's dead. Okay? But she wants to call everybody else stupid. Please make it all make sense. Please make it all make sense. But we're the idiots, we're the dummies, we're the fools. No, she is.
And portrays him as a family-focused man. I'm telling you now, Tisa, there are tons of people who would be willing to put their life, their character, there's all of their stuff on the line because they don't see what y'all see because they don't hate the man.
All these, you think all those people that were in the Instagram comment section, yeah, why'd you get jailed for being freaky? Yeah. You think all those celebrity idiots celebrating that person going free? Let's see if they actually go and put pen to paper.
They
just pay attention to how many times she calls people dumb, stupid, or idiots, but that's exactly what she is.
did already on Instagram. Why wouldn't they put it in the court documents?
Right.
If
It's
they're
already
not
public.
afraid to have social media have it, why would they be afraid for the courts to have it? The logic ain't logicking.
Or is the bulk?
Goodness Rated Bo said, I would never defend a man like Diddy. Cassie was a teenager when she met him. He was a lot older than her. He manipulated her into becoming a crack out prostitute. Diddy is right where he needs to be. Well, here's the thing, Goodness Rated Bo. First of all, Diddy wasn't dealing with her when she was a teenager, okay? Please stop lying or get your facts straight. Okay, at the end of the day, Cassie said herself, she testified that she was 21 when she first messed around with Diddy. She was a whole grown woman, okay? And at the end of the day, Diddy didn't manipulate her into becoming a crack prostitute. That's what she chose to do. Okay. She was supposedly already on rugs before she got with the Diddy. Okay. They say that what's the guy's name? Ryan Leslie met her dancing on a table. Okay. So please pay attention. And it's not about defending Diddy necessarily. It's about defending the truth. Now, if you feel like Diddy's right where he needs to be, maybe that is where he needs to be. But at the end of the day, not for a long period of time, because most people who commit Mann Act violations, who are Johns, no less, don't even get charged for it. Okay, they don't even get charged for it. And for anybody who thinks like Tisa tells that Diddy should have gotten convicted of the trafficking and racketeering, even though he didn't do it and they couldn't prove that he did it, at the end of the day, then you clearly don't care when other Black folk get wrongly convicted. Okay, and if you do, or you say that you do, I'm going to say you're a liar. Okay, otherwise you are exhibiting selective outrage. Okay, that's what I call it. Okay, please pay attention, but let's continue.
Look at the support, just something as empty as an Instagram like. I actually want to know who. Come out and show yourselves. Answer for your brethren, wherever you are, whoever you are. Say it with your chest. You want to be behind that freaky, depraved lifestyle? Say it with your press. Do more than an Instagram comment. Write something.
They might. They might. Now, here's my question. What if they do? What then? What if they really decide, you know what? I'm with my boy. He ain't guilty of the stuff they're saying. He might be guilty of some things, but not this stuff. No, I'm with him. I'm with him. In fact, there might be some that say, I'm not defending Diddy's action. I'm defending Diddy as a Black man in court.
That's right. That's right. Because if you are a Black person and you think it's okay for Diddy to be railroaded, if you think it's okay for Diddy to be convicted or to be treated inappropriately because of things that he didn't even do, then you're a fool. Okay, you're a fool because you're Black too. The same thing could happen to you or somebody that you know. Okay, so whether you like a person or not, you should not want anybody, specifically somebody who looks like you, to be wrongly convicted, because there's a history of those things happening right here in the Divided Snakes. Okay, please pay attention.
There are many ways to defend Diddy without okaying his behavior. You know that, right? That there are tons of people out there right now that see what's happening to Diddy as a power play.
Tú no viniste a Estados Unidos solo a trabajar más. Viniste a construir algo mejor. Y ahora que estás aquí, la pregunta
on his race.
Goodness Rated Bo said, I have 2 black sons. I pray they don't become a type of man like Diddy. F the money. I would love them to be rich with character and substance. And I would too, beloved. But at the end of the day, you should also hope that they never get sent to trial for something they didn't even do and possibly could get railroaded. Okay? Specifically with a life sentence. Okay? Please pay attention. That's what you should hope.
And they can see this as somebody definitely trying to downplay, bring down, hurt, harm, or even erase a black man who is making bank. And they can't stand that. And they will come and tell you, you know what? I am in support of Diddy going free. Why? Because this is a prime example of black men not being able to make it. And when they do, the system attacks them. And they won't even bother talking about anything about his charges or his sexuality or anything like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me how some black people who think like Tisa have not said one thing about Epstein. Like I said, they have not gone hard in the paint on Epstein or Weinstein or any of these other people. I find that interesting. Okay, Luna says Diddy is only guilty of sitting in the corner with a mask on. The last time I checked, that's not a crime.
They're going to go at this from a whole different perspective. And if they do that, they won't care if their name's behind it. In fact, they might be happy to put their name behind that because now they're supporting the black community, something that some other people ain't doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Outside the box is what we do.
Unless you don't really got anything to write, because you don't really know this man and you ain't really spent time with this man. And the only thing that you were going up for was the right for people to be freaky, even if it crosses other people's boundaries.
But you know him? You can say all the negative because you know him. They can't say the positive because they don't know him, but you have all the rights to say everything negative, but you don't know him either.
Exactly.
Were you a victim? Were you at the freak offs? Were you in his house? Do you hang out with him 24/7? Or even 4 times a week? Do you even do that? No, but you're going based on what you heard, saw, and think, right? But other people can't do that? The criteria seems a whole lot one-sided.
Facts.
Let's see how many people supporting this man can really put pen to paper and say that they knew him enough to actually write a court of law. Unless.
But you know him enough to talk about him outside the court of law.
Such a hypocrite.
Yes.
She doesn't even realize
You were just doing it for the gram, and you were supporting a depraved lifestyle because maybe you don't want people looking in to see what you're doing and tell all your business. Or say it with your chest. If you're supporting him and you're really down for him, everybody, Gina led the way. Let's see what's going on. But I tell you one thing, I love the fact that Judge Aaron is actually doing this and letting, this wasn't for prosecution. They already know the rules. They wrote them. This isn't for the prosecution.
Remember she said that? Okay, cool.
Okay, this is for Diddy's team, letting them know that even the celebrity influence that they tried to leverage in the media, and maybe it helped work with the jury, it's not working on him. And anybody that wants to put a letter in favor, baby, it's going on the court docket. And best believe we're going to be right here on live reading every single one of them. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. This is a great day.
Okay, so let's go back.
This is a great day. She is so ecstatic. Okay, she is so ecstatic. D Major said, girl, take your meds, allegedly. Okay. She likely does have to take meds because she said that she has ADHD. Okay, she said she has ADHD, but according to word on the street, she doesn't really have ADHD. She's on something that makes her hype, and it's called an illegal substance. Now, I can't substantiate that, but somebody did a whole video about it, calling her out. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, why would anyone be so excited and ecstatic as she is? Did Diddy do something to her personally? Because that's how she acts. Okay, or is she being paid by the prostitution to keep up this false narrative? Okay, please pay attention. All right, Yellow says she's super weird. Yes, she absolutely is. Durana said, I think you are the weakest link, Tisa Fails. Okay.
To the beginning. Let's see if we can find where she has the phone out and reading it, because that's where it started, right? It's in the phone. Yes, if I can find it here. It's a ways back.
Letting y'all know how dangerous Diddy is, okay? We're going to submit something for the pre-sentencing report.
The prosecution is. Okay, cool. The prosecution is going to do it?
submit some information for his pre-sentencing report. Prosecutor submitted something to the judge. Okay, so if you guys don't know, the prosecutor submitted something to the judge saying, hey, listen, we're going to submit some information for his pre-sentencing report. The pre-sentencing report is letting y'all know how dangerous Diddy is, okay? We're going to submit something for the pre-sentencing report. People are going to be using pseudonyms, okay? Now, they're going to be using the same pseudonyms and redactions that could publicly identify them that the court already agreed to in the protective order.
So it's not. So far, you heard anything about the defense yet? Okay, no. Okay, let's continue.
The judge said fine, but he also said a few other things.
That's what he hears.
Listen to this, okay? Listen to this. He said in the response, right? Memo endorsement as to Sean Combs, letter by the U.S. attorneys as to Sean Combs addressed to Judge Aaron by Mitzi, letter of redactions, endorsement. That's fine for now. But the party should not expect that any submissions made in connection with the upcoming sentencing will be sealed.
He's talking to the prosecution. How is it to the defense?
Exactly. How's that to the defense? Cardi says she's the person I heard say a reliable source told her that something was in the baby oil that would make people submissive. Yeah, she's the one that started that lie about GHB or whatever being in the baby oil, but there was no such thing. It was proven in court. So she's just a liar who lies, making up stuff, like I said. But let's continue. She absolutely did say that. I actually did hear that from her first as well.
Everything should be filed on the public docket, absent advance authorization to do so authorized.
And you glossed over that part too. So they can have it redacted and they can have it sequestered if it's approved before. They shouldn't expect it, but it can be. But that's to the prosecution, though. He didn't mention the defense.
This idiot. D Major says, this woman makes the original wig sound like an elder statesman and scholar.
In fact, what he said at the header was that this is about the Diddy case, not directed to Diddy. I don't understand how this is allowed to continue. I really do not understand how it is we have become such a thorn in the side of justice. Social media has made people so comfortable with polluting the airways with untruths and verifiable lies. And in the effort of them trying to be a next so-called known person, they use things that have nothing to do with the person that they're talking about in order to defame the person. And I think the only way this is going to stop is somebody big will have to step up and put somebody in their place financially. Somebody's going to have to pay a hefty fine, defamation-wise, with stuff like this. Why is it so difficult to just stick with a fact? Why do you have to go to the point of defamatory, useless lies in order to try and push a narrative that you know doesn't exist? What is the benefit of lying?
Money from the prosecution, allegedly. D Major Scaling says, at least the original wig makes some decent points. This lady, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Okay? Honey, nobody does, including herself. Please pay attention.
Like, honestly, why can't we just dabble in what is provable, tangible truth?
Hey everyone, so I am asking you to please make a contribution to the Democratic National Committee.
How is that hard? But it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell. It's not sensational enough. And it causes people to have to deal with reality. Okay. People like lies. Lies sell. Which makes you no better than Diddy. You all want to degrade him for the things he's done, feel free to do that. But if you got to do it by lying, you are Diddy 2.0.
Tell her,
The only
Marlon.
difference is you're not covered in fluids. That's the only difference. At least he had a payday. Y'all be doing this dry. That's crazy work.
Not crazy work.
I mean, many of them might disagree with our take. I expect that. But we just want the truth to be out there. Just the truth. Nothing else. Nothing added. Nothing embellished. No lies. Just tell us what happened with the case. It's not difficult to just report what happened.
Right.
Okay, so you might have your point of view about it. But if your point of view is tainting the details of the thing you're trying to report, it is no longer opinion. You are now trying to make that truth. And that's not true. That's a lie. Whatever your thoughts are, please leave them in the comment section below. But we're getting kind of sick of the whole push a narrative, even at the expense of the truth. But if you're not about that, you just let us know too. Because it's better to know than to not.
All right. Shout out to Marlon for calling her arse out on her lies and BS. Okay, so Desmond says, rest well with the ancestors. Danielle Spencer, aka D from What's Happening. So she has passed away. Okay, so that is sad to hear. Let me look this up really quick because this must be breaking news. Thank you, Desmond. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so this was reported about 25 minutes ago. Danielle Spencer, sassy young star of What's Happening, dies at age 60. She suffered a horrific auto accident during the sitcom's second season and went on to become a veterinarian. Okay, she died Monday in Richmond, in a hospital in Richmond, Virginia. She was diagnosed with breast cancer and underwent a double mastectomy in 2014 and again in 2018. In 2018, she underwent emergency surgery to relieve bleeding on her brain. They say a GoFundMe page was set up to help pay for her medical expenses. That is so sad. Co-produced by All in the Family's Bud Yorkin, What's Happening was loosely based on the 1975 film Cooley High with Eric Monte when he wrote the screenplay and created the Watts-based sitcom. After a successful 4-week run that started in August of 76, the comedy returned in November of that year and then for another 2 seasons. Spencer played Dee, the smart aleck younger sister of Raj, played by Ernest Thomas, and the daughter of Mabel King. And she became known for her catchphrase, "Ooh, I'm gonna tell mama." Y'all remember that? Okay, so anyway, she's passed on. She was born June the 24th of 1965 and raised in New York City by her mother, Cheryl, who was a French teacher, and a stepfather who was an actor by the name of Tim Pelt. Danielle Louise Spencer started acting at age 7 in a repertory company co-founded by Pelt. She had uncredited bit parts in such films as Serpico and Harry and Tonto, before landing the role in What's Happening when she was 11, bringing her and her family to California. They said, I'd never seen any young Black girl in this type of spotlight, so I didn't have a reference point in the media as to how to deal with this opportunity. That's what she told Jet Magazine in 2014. She said, I was from the Bronx. What I did was use my own family as the reference on how to portray my character. In September of 77, Spencer was involved in a 5-car accident on the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu that killed her stepfather, who was driving, and left her in intensive care for several weeks. He had taken her to see Star Wars at the drive-in in the previous evening. She said, I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to my stepfather, Daddy Tim, whom I loved and who taught me show business as a young child in New York. Spencer wrote in her 2010 memoir, Through the Fire, Journal of a Child Star. That's when she spoke about not getting to say goodbye to her stepfather. After What's Happening was canceled, Spencer and her family moved to the Ivory Coast. She then attended UC Davis, UCLA, and then veterinary school at Tuskegee University, earning a doctorate in veterinary medicine in 1993. A decade later, Spencer developed a spinal condition, perhaps because of the auto accident that she had been in that left her paralyzed from the waist down for months. Spencer worked as a veterinarian for 2 decades in Los Angeles before relocating in 2014 to Richmond, where she did a regular morning segment about pet care for CBS affiliate WTVR-TV. In 2014, she was inducted into the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture. In addition to her mother, Survivors include her brother, Jeremy, who's a jazz musician. And in 2016, in a 2016 interview with Hers magazine, Spencer said it was important to do what it is that you think is going to make you happy. She said, you really have a life to live for you at that moment, and just try to have fun. Be lighthearted and be happy while you're here, because you never know when that time is going to end. Oh, so anyway, with that all being said, prayers and condolences to her family. So sorry to hear about her tragic passing. And this is a picture of her both when she was a little girl and played on What's Happening, and also in her later years. Okay, so Desmond, thank you for that, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's talk about these black truck drivers coming up missing and some of them turning up dead. Let's get into it because I find this absolutely egregious. So let me tell you guys what brought my attention to this story. So this morning, I just happened to be scrolling along and I saw a story about a black truck driver. And they said, and so I started researching the story, and then they said that Snopes reported that the story was fake, that it was a hoax. So I thought, why would somebody make up a story like this and have everybody all concerned and everything? Because there were actually some people who did videos about it. So I thought, why would somebody make this story up? Let me see if there's actually real missing black truck drivers. Because here's the thing that you all have to worry about, that we all need to be concerned and paying attention to. Now, with the age of AI and it being so easy to put out fake stories, people are doing that. And in some cases, it's people putting out stories to change the narrative or to make it look as though things that are happening are really not happening. Okay, so we have to be aware of that because it basically pertains to people who look like us. So I'm going to go to this video, and this is the story that they said is fake. But then I'm going to show you some stories that are absolutely very real because I researched them.
I want y'all to go look up how many black truck drivers go missing. If you have a truck driver in your family, you need to send them as many videos as you can because the stories are here on TikTok. Let me tell y'all what's going on. They had a black man, 38 years old. He talked to his wife at 3:45 that morning. When he talked to his wife at 3:45 that morning, he told his wife he was getting down, off the interstate to go get some coffee. She never talked back to him ever again. I think his wallet and I believe the truck was found or something like that. But she haven't heard from her husband at all. So who has snatched this man? Where's this man? You think he just up and just left it and just, come on, bro? What's really going on? But I want y'all to go and look up truck drivers, black truck drivers that has went missing. You'll be surprised the stories that's out there. Though it's just not safe. And I know me and my husband has traveled. And we done got down on in these little towns to stop to get gas. And it just don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? So sundown towns are real, guys. I actually talked to my nephew because he's a truck driver. And he told me he done walked in a store and he said, Auntie, everything just got quiet. So basically he knew he wasn't, he wasn't comfortable or he wasn't supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people had a problem of him being there. Talk with your loved ones, okay? And guys, share this man's story. I'm going to hashtag his name, okay? I'm praying for his family. Hugs and love. If you are a black truck driver.
Okay, so now with that all being said, hold on, you guys. Okay, so now with that all being said, here's the thing. This is the story that I saw. Now, I found that video of her doing a TikTok, and she had that same guy's picture on there, and she said there was missing black truck drivers. But I, by that time, had already compiled many TikTok videos about these people because I started to look into it. But here's what I initially found that made me start doing the search. This right here, this was posted on Instagram. Black truck driver vanishes mid-route. Family says GPS went dark. So that immediately caught my attention on Instagram. And so when I started looking into it, like I said, that's when I found this article right here saying that Snopes debunked it. Okay, here's what they say. Snopes debunks missing truck driver social media post. It's not uncommon to find posts on social media related to missing truck drivers. One claim recently circulating grabbed the attention of Snopes, a fact-checking website, which promptly debunked it. In late July on Facebook and Instagram, they alleged that Alabama truck driver Eric Darnell went missing after picking up a load in Phoenix. They claimed that he was on his way to Memphis when he suddenly went dark. Now, as with much social media content, the facts changed. Subsequent posts either modified or added details, including that the supposed missing truck driver had been found dead. Snopes methodically dissected the post following the alleged route of the driver. Okay, so with that all being said, basically, I just want you all to pay attention to this. Snopes, in my opinion, is not reliable. They are not reliable, in my opinion, because they have debunked other things before, but never shown how they debunked them, and those things absolutely turned out to be true. So I don't know if this story is a hoax or not. You know, it could be somebody trying to say that it's fake. I don't know, but I didn't find anything else on it other than them saying it's fake. So maybe it is. But here's the thing that isn't fake. Everyone, please like and share. Okay, now here is, hold on, before I go to this TikTok video, hold on. Let me just go to these articles. Here it is right here. This is an article about a man by the name of Jalen Deshaun Allen. Okay, this man actually did go missing. This is him right here. Okay, this is him right here. And they don't give very many details about this man. They just say that trucker Jalen Deshaun Allen was last seen on February the 29th. His semi-truck was found at a Pilot Travel Center in Monteagle, Tennessee. His employer, Western Express, says that he was on his way to Monteagle from Pell City, Alabama, the last time he was heard from. According to a social media post by his family, Allen's body has been located as of March the 22nd. Funeral arrangements are underway, but details regarding the circumstances of his death or how he was located have not been released. Okay, and so with that all being said, this man was this was like a year ago.
Funeral arrangements are now being made for a man from Pell City, Alabama, that had been missing from the Monteagle area since the end of February. Jalen Allen was reported missing after his 18-wheeler was found abandoned at a gas station on Monteagle. Details of Allen's death haven't been shared by investigators just yet. Now, this announcement came from his family saying, quote, "While this is most certainly not the outcome we prayed for, I know Jay was welcomed into his heavenly home with the most loving of arms," end quote.
Okay, so that's awful. Easy says someone lured him out of that truck at a truck stop. Yes, that's what I read also, that he was in fact lured from his truck. And they said that his wallet was still in the truck or something. When they found out he didn't have his wallet, maybe that's when they killed him. That's what they said. Okay, so now let me go to some of these videos.
We ain't going out like that. I will turn your sundown town into downtown. Play with me. So I've been getting a lot of messages, a lot of comments about this topic right here. Black truck drivers going missing in these sundown towns. So to all the black truck drivers out there, let me holler at y'all for a minute. See, if you work for a company that prohibits you from protecting yourself while you're on the road, option number one, quit. Don't work for them. Option number two, disregard their policy. Your company's policy is not the law. Protect yourself. Now, to all you sundown town boys out there who hate somebody like me just because of the color of my skin, that's an internal problem. I can't fix that for you. The only person who can fix that problem is you. When I leave my wife and kids at home to go on the road, I have 3 objectives. Objective number 1, drive safe. If I don't drive safe, I can't get to objective number 2. Objective number 2 is to make money. And objective number 3 is to make it back home to my wife and kids. So if I'm tired and it just so happens that I got to spend a night in your sundown town, this truck will be parked right on the corner of Glock Avenue, which is right next to Smith and Wesson Boulevard. And the next block over is 15+1 Street. You can hate this if you want to. I can't stop you. But I tell you one thing, though. Marv ain't going out like that. Nah, we ain't going out like that. I will turn your sundown town into downtown.
That's what I'm talking about. Play with him if you want to, honey. Okay, not that he said Mr. Smith and Mr. Wesson. Y'all know that's what the Queen stay talking about. Please pay attention, okay? Don't try it. Okay, now let's go to this next video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
So I'm started hearing all across my story that a lot of black truck drivers coming up missing. I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. Some of y'all are already doing it right now, but you need to make your way to get you one of these. I don't give a damn what the company say, because the company ain't going to be out there with you while you trying to make your money and while you staying overnight at these damn places. Go get you one of these right here. Put your stendo clip in that motherfucker, that whole 35, 40 rounds, because you don't know how many motherfuckers gonna be. Or get your damn chopper and put that some gun on the truck with you, man. Because guess what? The company ain't out there with you while you trying to make your money. They going to the house and they in they goddamn bed. I ain't telling you what to do, but you better wake up and smell the coffee.
All right, when it's brewing, y'all pay attention, honey. Let me tell y'all something. If anybody try to come for me, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm coming out just like old boy did on Sinners. At the end of Sinners, y'all remember y'all remember that scene? I'm coming up the trunk, okay, with that blicky in case it gets sticky. Please pay attention. All right, now with that all being said, let's keep going. Mad Dog Jack said, you see what they tried to do to the black man, the black trucker in North Carolina? Yes, I showed that video before, but I'm about to show it again for those who missed it, beloved. Okay, I absolutely am. And that's another thing. Many of these supposed missing drivers went missing in North Carolina, okay? And I find it all interesting, especially after we see what they tried to do to this man right here.
Leave me alone. Your fucking truck, kill the cops. I'm leaving now. Get me out of the fucking phone. Let's go, bitch. Let's go. Get in the fucking truck. Yeah. Don't get out of the truck no more. Don't get out of the truck no more? Take you out. Yes, the sheriff's department's coming to get rid of you and your fucking mud. Okay. So stay in your truck. Yes, sir. Before something bad happens. Yes, sir. Get in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm saying, shut your door, shut your mouth. You're the sheriff? You're the sheriff, right? Yes. And you weren't trying to talk to me. Can I'm done talking to me. Shut the door. Can I draw the window down? No, roll the other window down. Hey, sir, you slammed the door on my dog. And that's all I'm recording. I'm going to put you in jail. That's all I'm recording, for slamming on the dog. I didn't slam it on the dog. Yes, you did. Have it on recording. Get in the door. Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all going to jail. Y'all going down. This town going down. Yeah, this town going down. Man. Hello? Hello?
Darn shame what black people have to go through just to try to do their job. Okay, licensed federal officer Carol Banks gifted the channel 5 memberships. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, peace, love, and blessings. You all shout out licensed federal officer Carol Banks because she just gifted the channel 5 memberships. Okay, so you all show your appreciation. Again, thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Now, with that all being said, this man actually the last video you just saw where they were going in on him, they actually turned over his truck. and he's currently suing the company. Okay, he's currently suing them. There were more videos released that he put out or what have you, but he's currently suing the company, as he should. Okay, please pay attention. Let's go to the next video.
All my black truckers out there, man, I just want to say, man, y'all be careful, be safe, and I just want to quit. Y'all don't be having y'all fun. Y'all just be out here willy-nilly. Never that. I just seen a post where the trucker that had went missing after, you know, he had a flat tire and went and got help for his flat tire. Something happened. He went missing, and they just found his body. They said it looked like he may have been hung. I just want, man, y'all black truckers out there, be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? I deliver a lot in these sundown towns. I ain't going. I don't give no fucks about your. I'm not going. It's just gonna be everybody. Everybody can get it. I get me too, shit. But all of us will be laid out. Fuck that.
With that all being said, you all heard what he said. He said everybody gonna be laid out. Okay, let's go to the next video.
You racist, selfish, sad case of a company. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. TBD dump site in Clyde, North Carolina. I hope y'all didn't think we was gonna let it go. I got an update for y'all. Y'all can't possibly think y'all got off that easy. Y'all think y'all was gonna be racist and ain't nobody gonna talk about it? Well, look, I got an update for you. If you've been following this story with TBD dump site and how a black driver feared for his life, how they racially profiled him, chased him down with guns, accused him of stealing the phone, the whole time to try to find some way to unalive him, they even flipped this truck. That black truck driver got a lawyer, and he's doing a press conference in Raleigh, North Carolina tomorrow. And I got a video for you, just released, breaking news. In the video, you're gonna show him damn near out of breath, like they was just chasing him down with a fire in their hand. And he's pleading for them not to unalive him. TBD dump site, I feel like I gave you a pass. If you are anywhere in North Carolina, any area, tomorrow they're holding a press conference, and that victim, that black truck driver, is now being represented by Mackinson and Associates. That new clip that's released shows just how racist they are, just how much hate they have for that man, just because of the color of his skin. Now, I don't know about y'all, but we tired of it. The location of this press conference is not released for the safety of that black truck driver. From the footage that I just seen, boss up don't get no justice. Clyde, North Carolina, TBD dump site. This shit ain't gonna be nice. And if nobody told you, remember Chemo told you, stay motivated. We not about to let this shit slide.
Okay, so you all heard what he said. They absolutely, he absolutely filed a lawsuit. So let's talk about it, because here's an article where they claim to be talking about what really happened. Now, I haven't read this. I just pulled this up while I was listening to him. Social media cyclone, the real story behind the viral landfill encounter. Haywood County landed in the crosshairs of national social media ire this week after inflammatory videos went viral alleging that a black truck driver hauling chipped flood debris to a private landfill in Canton was bullied by unhinged workers. The videos whipped up a maelstrom of vile attacks against the workers, which grew more extreme with each passing hour on Monday. The view count climbed, eventually surpassing 1 million with more than 40,000 comments, concluding that Haywood County is a backwoods den of good old boy corruption. They say they didn't want you to see the burial grounds. This isn't just some mulch-filled area. Most of the trucks know exactly what this really is. The cops are in on it, and maybe the government also. Okay, this is what somebody posted. Now, I don't know if they can substantiate that. By midday, the workers had been labeled as racist Klansmen with murder in their eyes. By extension, warnings were circulating that all Clyde was a sundown town where people of color aren't safe. They say they could have buried you alive, brother. Look at all that fog. They were itching to harm you. This is what one person commented. But here's what they say really happened. But what's not seen in the videos and what led up to the irate yelling by landfill workers paints a far different picture. I want to hear this. A truck driver carrying a gun had gone rogue within the landfill, according to other sources. The driver was running around out of his truck, threatening workers, and tried to hijack the truck from a female driver. When asked to respond related to this incident, the landfill owner provided a written statement saying a third-party contracted truck driver violated site policies and engaged in aggressive behavior on site. The video being circulated omits critical elements of the incident, according to the statement issued by TDB Landfill. The workers ultimately used a skid steer to disable the cab of the truck by blocking the truck with heavy equipment. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. Does this sound plausible? Does this sound plausible according to what we just witnessed? We heard the man begging them not to shoot him in the second video, did we not? I want y'all to pay attention because this all sounds like a bunch of lies by racist demons who want to change the narrative. But let's continue. Now, with that all being said, they go on to say, our staff acted quickly or swiftly to protect others. Thankfully, no injuries occurred. That's what they said in a statement. Law enforcement was called immediately, and we appreciate their quick intervention. Didn't the guy with the vest on say that he was the sheriff? Okay, the incident happened in late June, but didn't hit TikTok until this week, sparking the firestorm. Okay, in the video, the driver claims the workers flipped over his truck, intimidated him with obscene yelling, and made him fear for his life. Well, that's exactly what we heard. We saw that one of them even shut the door on his dog. Okay, and so as the videos made the round, social media spin doctors propagated the storyline of racist rednecks, no less, who went ballistic on an innocent Black man. They say hundreds of copycat videos popped up on TikTok, YouTube, and social media channels, accompanied by rage-baiting commentary from influencers making hay on the latest viral trend. So let's get this straight. They said copycat videos. So you mean somebody else made videos with people at a landfill going in on a Black truck driver? Okay, are y'all listening to this? And so anyway, by the afternoon, viewers unleashed a torrent of threatening phone calls that overloaded the switchboards at the county landfill, prompting, hold on, beloveds, these pop-ups. Okay, at the landfill, prompting those with the same name to post statements of their own saying it wasn't them. Now, the full story behind the social media melee has not come out until now. As the viral post spun out of control Monday, the owners of TDB Landfill did not weigh into the fray. But due to what TDB called a misleading account of the incident, it eventually released a statement Tuesday on local media saying the video being circulated omits critical elements of the incident, including threats, unauthorized entries, and the risk posed to both workers and other drivers. Now, if this is true, how come none of them recorded it? You all saw all of those men out there. You mean to tell me none of them had phones? So none of them recorded the things that they're saying? I don't believe it. Okay, I don't believe any of it, but let's continue. Now, see, this is a cover-up. This is what they do. The incident occurred at the old paper mill landfill in Canton, now owned by Two Banks Developments, which is TDB or TBD, the entity that bought the mill and its related property holdings. So the landfill has become a repository of woody flood debris being hauled into the tune of 200 truckloads a day from across Western North Carolina by contracted drivers. They say this incident is the only case of serious noncompliance involving a third-party truck driver, one of more than 30,000 successful truckloads received to date. So they said unpacking the two original videos and the hundreds of spin-off videos is muddy. What actually is seen in the videos differs from the truck driver's narrative, confusing viewers as to what they can see for themselves versus the claims being made. But even more complicated is the falsehoods propagated by more than 50,000 viewer comments across the various videos. Commentators make speculations, prompting other commenters to respond with more speculations of their own. And by 5,000 comments in, the reality of what's seen in the videos is divorced from the narrative playing out in the comment thread. Online media outlets also got in on the action, posting their own stories based on the accusations being volleyed in the comments. They say a Black truck driver delivering mulch in Clyde, North Carolina, says that he was attacked by multiple men, screamed a headline on the news. This is what screamed a headline on the news called North Carolina Beat. However, the truck driver never said he was attacked, and no video shows a landfill worker ever laying hands on the truck driver. But We do see them threatening him and telling him to get back in his truck. We saw them close the door on the dog. We heard him begging for his life and saying, don't shoot me. Okay, so what are they talking about? They say, in a nutshell, here's what the two original videos depict. The video number 1 shows half a dozen landfill workers yelling at a truck driver to get back in his truck and stay there, laced with obscenities and aggressive body language. Get in your effing truck until the cops get here. Now you son of a B, one worker says, aggressively posturing. The sheriff's department is coming to get rid of you and your effing mutt. So stay in your truck before something bad happens. Another worker shouts. Do it now. Shut your door and shut your mouth, says another. While the truck driver is heard saying, yes, sir, repeatedly to the commands, he refuses to follow them, instead staying out of the truck and filming the workers. Well, I'm sorry that he didn't obey their commands. Who are they? Do you all hear this? This sounds like this black man is supposed to go along with what they say and when they say and how they say it. Talking about he refused. Well, who are they to command him to do anything? And the fact that he was saying yes, sir, and being polite leads me to further believe that he was not ever being aggressive with them. And in fact, that they were just being bullies and hold racists. But let me continue. So goes on to say, and remember when they told him, do it now, shut your door and shut your mouth. Who do they think they're talking to? Okay, so anyway, they said he continues filming the workers. Eventually, he's ushered into his vehicle, but refuses to shut the door. One landfill worker puts his hand on the door of the cab, trying to close it, but the truck driver keeps his own hand on it, forcing it open. That's his prerogative. When the worker finally pushes it closed, the yelp and whine of a dog is heard in the video. The man accuses the worker of slamming the door on his dog. Y'all going down, the man says. This town's going down. Yeah, this town's going down. Now, if this man was the aggressor and he came there to start mess, don't you think that he would have just left? That he wouldn't, why would he be sitting there talking about y'all are going down? Y'all going to jail? Why would he be saying that if he was the aggressor? So they say social media content creators made a field day with the landfill workers' comment before something bad happens, claiming it was an intended threat. It was an intended threat. Get in your truck before something bad happens. What does that sound like? However, the phrase has an entirely different meaning given the actual circumstances. A man who had climbed in the cab of another truck endangered workers by nearly driving into them and continued to run around amongst big trucks and heavy machinery. Second video. The second video was taken by a bystander who was also black. Seeing the commotion, he got out of his truck and started filming, focusing on a skid steer pushed against the other driver's cab, making it lean at an angle, saying he gonna sue the ish out of their aces. That is what the other person said. You could hear them in the background. Get in your vehicle now. You're leaving. You're gone. A landfill worker tells him. Gone where? The man says. You're going out. The worker says. Who? The man says. You, the worker says. For what? The man says. For videoing, the worker says. Here's the thing. If somebody's acting crazy with you and being belligerent and aggressive and doing something threatening, you should want someone to video it. Wouldn't you? Why would you tell somebody to get in their car, in their truck and get out of here? And when they say why, you say for videoing, you would want them to videotape it. This is how you know it's all lies and BS, okay? And painting the whole narrative. So with that all been said, for video and I'm going out. What you talking about? The man says. He continues to film and walk around until the orders get more heated. Some commenters admitted to being quite puzzled as to what they had watched. One says, I'm confused by this. None of it makes sense, but everybody is jumping on some sort of bandwagon to sue somebody for something that was not witnessed by anybody, one commentator said. Well, we already know what they look like. Let me clarify for anyone wondering what is happening. I watched the video, read the caption, and still not quite sure, says another. Now, here comes the backlash. Comments condemning the landfill workers outnumber those in support more than 1,000 to 1, as they should. Okay, as they should. Now, those siding with the truck driver claimed the landfill workers were on a rampage and threatening his life. So they say he could have easily been unalived and buried. It's definitely obvious they were trying to get rid of him, one commenter posted. Looks like attempted murder, someone posted. I'm glad you made it out alive. A few questioned the narrative, however, saying, where's the rest of the video? I guarantee those hardworking men didn't just get mad because he was of color. He caused some sort of problem, one wrote. No, we already know who's saying those things. So get real, people. You're so quick to start screaming racism. So he happened to tick everyone off because he didn't do nothing. Come on now. Oh, yeah, that's what happens all the time with black folk when they come upon the racist people who don't like them because of the color of their skin. You don't have to do anything to tick them off. Just being black is enough. Please pay attention. Do you see how ridiculous they sound? So anyway, goes on to say, hold on, where was I? One of them says, I feel like you did something to justify that. I feel like you did something to justify that kind of rage. Another one said. Now, someone said, nonetheless, most viewers were outraged over the level of aggression and hostility shown by the landfill workers. Someone said, nothing justifies this barbaric, rotten, savage behavior. Okay, so the truck driver who posted the video claimed the unfair treatment began when he arrived before the landfill officially opened at 6:30 a.m. He was ordered to leave and go to the back of the line, which begins queuing up in the early hours of the morning along Champion Drive in Canton. The driver would have passed this line of trucks to reach the landfill. Managing the volume of trucks is a massive operation with around 20 workers directing traffic in the landfill or into the landfill. Monitoring the volume of each load of flood debris for Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is FEMA, for their records, orchestrating the dump process and the internal traffic flow. So a few months ago, they say the number of trucks queuing up as early as 3 a.m. along the narrow, curvy road leading to the landfill became untenable. Now, this prompted intervention from the North Carolina Highway Patrol, which mandated trucks had to line up a mile away and couldn't start making their way to the landfill until 6:30 p.m. or a.m. Thus, the trucker who arrived early was sent back out into the end of the line, behind those who had already parked to wait the landfill opening. Social media commenters seized on this as a conspiracy theory fuel, saying them dudes are hiding something. Okay, somebody said something weird is going on to be that worked up over arriving early. Exactly. Now, if he just got there early, why would they be that mad? So I bet there's asbestos or something under the mulch, someone said. Clearly, they ran something or someone over by mistake and didn't want him to record it. Someone says they're probably hiding evidence to use the land for agriculture, which they were told not to do on floodlands. So they say while the landfill is on the outskirts of Canton, the town of Clyde, not Canton, has been targeted as the epicenter of the national social media frenzy. Social media creators have made sundry videos labeled as racist warnings for anyone venturing to Clyde, saying Clyde, North Carolina is racist, and I mean very. Someone says you're looking at members of the KKK. Clyde is definitely a sundown town. A few locals chimed in to stick up for Haywood County. So they said, we have biracial families here with no issues. Black people, damn good people, live in Haywood County. Isn't that what they always say? Please miss us with it. Okay, so anyway, they go on to say confusion ensued on social media over whether the Haywood County Sheriff was among the landfill workers, stemming from an exchange with a landfill worker. Get back in your truck now, a landfill worker said. The driver replied with a partly incomprehensible statement. When replayed after the fact and with the benefit of closed captions, the driver apparently said, "Are you the sheriff?" But he had slurred his words and it could have sounded like, "Are you sure?" He clearly said, "Are you the sheriff?" So now they're trying to cover up for the man lying, saying he was the sheriff. I want y'all to pay attention. Yes, I'm done talking to you. Get in your truck, replied the worker, who was wearing a hard hat and a yellow safety vest and nothing resembling a law enforcement badge, because he wasn't the law. And the man asked him, was he the sheriff, for a reason, because he obviously told the man that first. Because otherwise, why would he ask someone wearing a vest if they at a landfill with a hard hat? Why would he ask them if they were the sheriff? He obviously had already told the man the lie that he was the sheriff. So anyway, this miscommunication prompted hundreds of comments and a standalone spinoff videos claiming the local sheriff was in on it. Apparently, the sheriff was even there, and he was just as, if not more dangerous, and slammed the truck door on the guy's two-month-old puppy. Somebody said, what the F is going on in Clyde, North Carolina? One of the men is the sheriff. And, then again, he could have been the sheriff and been in on it, because I absolutely believe that these men coming up missing, that maybe the police are absolutely involved. Okay. I'd file a report with the FBI. That sheriff is crooked. That's a good old boys club if ever I seen one. So eventually, locals chimed in, setting the record straight by posting a photo of Haywood County Sheriff Bill Wilk to show it wasn't him. Okay, so then the man lied. He clearly said he was the sheriff, and he didn't think the man said, "Are you sure?" How does are you sure sound like, are you the sheriff? Okay. How does that sound the same? Okay, I want you all to pay attention. But anyway, hold on. Kiko Buffetti says, Queen, for more reports, Taylor House Publishing and Introvert Rockstar on YouTube are keeping track of these incidents. Thank you. Peace. Well, thank you, beloved. Okay, because they're lying. These people are lying. Okay, this isn't the only person this has happened to. And that's how you know they're lying. Okay, and now I'm starting to think that maybe that other story about Eric Darnell who went dark, okay, when he was halfway through his delivery or whatever, maybe that is true after all. Who knows? Okay, I definitely see that lies are being told. So goes on to say the landfill worker was then raked over the coals by commenters for impersonating a law enforcement officer. Have you sued them yet or pressed any charges? They have clearly assaulted you, and that employee is impersonating a sheriff, which is a felony, one person wrote. Now they say the viral nature of the video isn't an accident. TikTok aficionados orchestrated a campaign to elevate the video and ensure a well-known self-fulfilling prophecy among influencers. The more views and comments a post gets, the more it moves up the pecking order. This TDB dumping site in North Carolina, TikTok, let's make them famous, one contender challenged. That sounds like Tizzy ENT, because that's what he likes to say, let's make them famous. So use long comments and like other comments to help push it in the algorithm, and keywords like Taylor Swift, U.S. election, merch haul, Super Bowl, one commenter wrote. So basically tell them to use certain tags, hashtags. So some commenters called out the manipulation, saying just make sure to like, follow, repost to keep the division machine running, while most of us are very much confused, but you all have already assumed what is happening. Well, of course we have, because we know how this country is. You see, I want you all to pay attention to the narratives that are painted and pushed when people who look like me start complaining about things that are going on. They always try to flip the script. Oh, nothing to see here. Nobody did anything. There's no reason to suspect foul play. But all these black truck drivers coming up missing and some being found dead, y'all don't think that's something nefarious? And this right here is being made to look like the man was at fault, the victim. Yeah, I absolutely don't believe a word of it. Now, they say 2 landfill workers were identified in the comment threads by locals who recognized them. Their names were repeated over and over in subsequent videos as commenters called on other viewers to blast them, as they should. Now, within 24 hours, the name of one of the local men became a top search term on TikTok. A second landfill worker who was identified is on the payroll of Wright Brothers Construction, but wasn't on site in that capacity. The company issued 2 statements over the course of the day on Monday, saying preliminary accounts indicate some of our employees attempted to de-escalate the situation when a member of the public arrived at an active construction zone, filming and refused repeated requests to leave or lower their phone for safety reasons. How is a phone causing safety issues? They don't have phones on them while they're out there working? I absolutely believe they do. A second statement was then released clarifying the first, saying only one of the individuals works for our corporation. We're actively investigating to determine his role in this event. We want to be clear. The language and behavior displayed in the video are unacceptable. So the company even said their behavior and language was unacceptable. Okay, so I think we all know what's going on here. The footage is upsetting and does not reflect our standard of professionalism and respect. The statement soon became fodder for a series of their own spin-off videos until Wright Brothers landfill response also became a top TikTok search term. Thousands of commenters claimed the truck driver had a slam dunk lawsuit on his hands and urged him to go after Two Banks Development. Somebody said, oh, this paycheck is going to be a good one. Somebody's going to get a payday. Somebody said, congratulations, you're going to own that company. So they say TDB landfill did not press charges against the truck driver. Well, of course they didn't press charges because they didn't do a damn thing. Do you think that this man was really out there acting aggressive, threatening the lives of truck drivers who were completely innocent? That these people, with all the stuff they were saying, telling him to get in the car, get in your truck, and wait till the sheriff comes and all this, or wait till the police come, or whatever they were saying, you don't think that they would have pressed charges? How angry we saw them, all the smack they were talking. Of course they would have pressed charges. They didn't press charges because he didn't do anything. Okay, that's common sense to me. So it goes on to say they didn't press charges against the driver, although the Haywood County Sheriff's Office did respond the day of the incident. They said law enforcement was called immediately. Officers responded to the scene. Statements were taken and a review was conducted. And at this time, our company and its employees have chosen not to file charges. Yeah, and we all know why. Okay, the Haywood County Sheriff's Office says the case is still an active investigation. So, and here's the thing. If it's still under an active investigation, how the hell are they sitting here telling us that the narrative has been flipped? Okay, are you all paying attention? If it's still under investigation, how are they now saying that this isn't what really happened, what we all saw with our own eyes and what we all heard with our own ears, but it's something other than what was portrayed in the videos? But they're not even done with the investigation. But let's continue. They say the incident is under internal review by our office, according to a statement from the sheriff's office. We would like to ask the public to please refrain from calling our 911 center for information or to inquire about this incident. They said, stop calling us, asking us about what the hell y'all think y'all saw. Please refrain. Don't call 911 and don't call our center for information to inquire about this incident. Y'all don't think they have something to hide here? Citizens may visit the Haywood County Sheriff's website and request information, and they give a number to call. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention, honey. This is nothing but a whole bunch of lies. You see, that man was there by himself. That man was there by himself, and at the end of the day, they all lied. They flipped the narrative, but here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention. Now, even with the video footage that the man had, now just pay attention. Even with the video, I'm writing down this phone number because I'm definitely going to call and inquire about what the hell's going on. Okay. So the number is 828-356-2880. If anyone wants to call as well. This is the Haywood County Sheriff's Office. And they also say there's information on their website, which is probably more lies. But here's the thing that's interesting. So the man has filed a lawsuit, supposedly. And that guy in that video said that he did a press conference. Now, I don't know if he did or not, but there's claims that he's filed a lawsuit. Would somebody do that if they were lying? Would somebody do that if they were the ones that started the whole thing? Well, maybe, but it's very unlikely. Okay, so I don't believe a word of it. I think they're all just lying. And here's another thing, too. Think about this. If that man, the truck driver that is, took all those videos and then there was another black man recording videos, because you heard him say, he gonna sue the ish out of y'all. Why would he say that unless he saw that they were the ones in the wrong? Why would the other man who was recording it say that if he saw that they were not the ones in the wrong? He knew they were the ones in the wrong. And that's why he started recording too. And then they told him to get out of their videotaping. Wouldn't you want, if you were innocent and this person is recording you, and then somebody else is recording you, wouldn't you want them to record so you can prove your innocence, that you didn't do anything? Why would you order this person to get in your truck and stop recording? Okay, make that make sense. And at the end of the day, here's the thing too. So the sheriff says they're still investigating the incident. Now, the black man had video footage of what was going on. But so they're saying in this article, what they're saying is they don't believe him, that he's lying, and that all those landfill workers are telling the truth. What makes them so sure that the white men are telling the truth? Were the police there? Was the real sheriff there? They weren't, according to this report. So how do they know that the workers are telling the truth? You see, if they were the ones that were doing the dirt and they were the ones being aggressive and making threats, are they really going to own up to that and admit to it? Of course they're not. So that would be expected that they would lie. But so why would the sheriff's office take their word over the black man's when he's the one that had the video footage and they did not? Okay. Please make it all make sense. Easy said they're all on the same side, Queen. Exactly. Okay, exactly. And who knows what's in that landfill? Please pay attention. So anyway, I find it all so nefarious, honey. At the end of the day, honey, you have a hard time in this country just being a person like me. Now let's go to another video, because this is not a lie. I reported on this when it first happened. Do you all remember Javion McGee? Let's go to this video. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Okay, Luna said that's what they do, Queen. Exactly. Mad Dog Jack said they never do. Exactly. Okay, Pretty Wing said truckers should also have dash and interior cameras. Yes, absolutely. You know, we all should have them as Black people. We all should have these dash cameras just in case you get pulled over, because people who look like me can get taken out at a simple traffic stop. Okay, we all should have dash cameras. That's what we all should, dash cams. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's go to this video. And this is the attorney Lee Merritt, who often worked with Ben Crump.
Beforehand, you know, when was the last time he was in contact with them, and kind of the timetable that you've been able to figure out?
Yeah, the sheriff should be releasing a detailed timeline today to the media. I don't know if they'll be having a press conference themselves, but they have indicated to us that a timeline will be released as best as they can gather through their investigation. So, as relates speaking to the family, my understanding, Javion was excited about going to Houston, Texas, as many times with his cousins. So there's no indication whatsoever that he had any ulterior motives or ulterior thoughts as to whether, you know, he had any thoughts of self-demise. So there's nothing here. And this, let me be very clear. This is why Miss McGee, Miss Robeson, and her husband are here. The family's here because there's no indication whatsoever the 21 years he was on Earth that they brought him here and raised him to show any signs that he would commit suicide. That's why they're here. So to be very clear, there's nothing, no mental health, anything that capacity, no depression. And like Lee said, a 21-year-old is working, gainfully employed, gonna come to rural North Carolina and say, you know what, I'm gonna end it all here.
Now pay attention, because Javion McGee was also found dead in rural North Carolina, just like that video that we saw, just like the article I just read. But we're supposed to think that he was the one starting stuff. Okay, so retired federal police officer Carol Banks says, "Great job, Dr. Shakur. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate your kind words, and thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings."
Doesn't make sense. Any other questions?
And from the family reviewing the Walmart surveillance video, that's the last video that we've seen of that, because no one knows him better than his family. Have they been able to figure out anything from his demeanor or kind of his thoughts on that?
Now they're trying to act as though Javion took his own life. Okay, they're trying to, it was a whole hate crime, clearly, but they're trying to act like this man took his own life.
The Walmart video, that's the last video that y'all have seen, right? As the media have seen this time. But it's other videos that the family have in fact received for his going to the Hampton Inn. The question is, what was he doing there in that location? Well, he went to the Hampton Inn. They had no room. So he went to where traditionally truck drivers that's coming through here would go. And normally, if you would go, it doesn't make sense to go around where other truck drivers would be at to go kill yourself. If you're going to kill yourself, you find a road down here that nobody's down, and you do it down there. I mean,
y'all do know this man was found dead by a tree, right? Y'all do remember that? So just if you forgot, let me refresh your memory. The report done by state medical examiners ruled McGee's death a suicide months after he was found dead hanging from a tree in Vance County, okay, which is Raleigh, North Carolina. The autopsy report of Javion McGee, a 21-year-old Illinois man who was found dead in North Carolina, was released on Wednesday. Okay, this was reported May the 7th of 2025. So y'all hear that? Yeah, they said this man did this to himself. He hung himself from a tree. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Yeah. They say that there was no foul play suspected in McGee's death. Okay. And said preliminary information pointed to a possible suicide. This is just a darn shame. This is a darn shame. Okay. They said pressure from the family and attorney prompted the sheriff office to release new details on the timetable of McGee's death, including information that the preliminary autopsy found that McGee did not have any defensive wounds and no sign of physical or sex assault. The family's attorney said an independent autopsy was planned by the family to compare the findings. We know that McGee was in Henderson dropping off a load at the Walmart distribution center for his trucking company. On September the 10th, just before 5 p.m., his truck was seen idling in the dirt parking lot, not far from where his body was later found. He then goes to Walmart where the surveillance video shows him buying the utility rope. And on the way out into the parking lot, they said 6:22, about 16 hours before he was found deceased. Okay, McGee gave $228 to a homeless person outside Walmart. That person told investigators that McGee told him, "I don't know how much this is, but if I had more, I would give it to you." He then goes to a Hampton Inn nearby, but there isn't room available. So instead, he heads back to the dirt lot off Vanco Mill Road where he was earlier. At 6:52, he's seen walking away from the truck to the woods along with an object in his hand. At 7 p.m., he goes back to the truck without anything in his hand. 30 minutes later, the truck's ignition is turned off and never started again. Then he's seen on video walking away from the truck alone. His body was discovered with a wrapper from the rope lying next to him. His body was discovered by people mowing grass who then called 911 on September the 11th around 10 a.m. McGee's mother and father spoke briefly at the end of Wednesday's news press conference, saying they thanked everybody for the support and to keep them in their prayers. Okay, let's continue.
I mean, it does the facts and the things doesn't make sense as to a mentality, a mindset of a person who's wanting to kill themselves. Now, I understand about the buying a rope at Walmart as a truck driver. It's a lot of reasonable explanations for that. You know, you got a lot of times these trucks, and Dad is a seasoned truck driver. A lot of trucks have universal keys that other doors, other keys from other trucks can open if it's the same make and model. So if I'm sleeping in the middle of nowhere, you got to think about it. If you're sleeping in the middle of nowhere in a truck and somebody else can possibly get in your truck, you go around safety with numbers. So it's a lot of reasonable explanations that we believe why a rope was purchased. You know, I know
that doesn't mean anything because he purchased the rope, because truck drivers use ropes primarily for securing their cargo and tarps. Okay, and also for various other tasks that require a strong, flexible tie down. Okay, the most common application is securing loads to trailers or flatbeds, often using a technique called the trucker's hitch to create a strong, tight hold. Okay, trucker's ropes, also known as a trucker's rope or a tie-down rope, is essential for securing cargo on flatbed trucks and trailers. It's used to keep loads from shifting during transit, okay, especially when dealing with irregularly shaped items. Ropes are also used to secure tarps over loads, protecting them from the elements. This is a specific knot. The trucker's hitch is a specific knot that creates a pulley system, allowing drivers to tighten ropes and secure loads with greater force. It's a versatile knot that can be used for various applications beyond just securing loads, like rigging tarps or even securing items on the roof of the vehicle. Okay, so like he said, there's absolutely many reasons. Ropes are also useful for a variety of other tasks, such as creating a clothesline, rigging a tarp, or securing items to the raft or kayak. Okay, they said sometimes they use alternative materials. While ropes can be useful, truck drivers may also use straps, chains, or bungee cords for cargo control, depending on the specific load and regulations. For example, straps are often used for heavier loads, while chains and binders are reserved for very heavy or specialized equipment. Bungee cords are also popular for their flexibility and ease of use. Okay, so again, the fact that he bought a rope doesn't mean anything. Somebody could have hung him with his own rope.
with the optics, it looks like you get a rope, the next thing you found hanging from a tree. And if somebody can jump that conclusion. But I went to school in North Carolina Central School of Law. I think it's the best law school in the nation. It's definitely North Carolina. You don't jump. Now I know you may not agree. You don't jump from buying a rope at Walmart and somebody hanging and say they committed suicide. We got things called evidence and facts that we must go through. And what was lacked here at the beginning of his family, the evidence, the facts had not been developed before you make a conclusion that he killed himself.
Also, here's something to think about, beloveds. If you were going to take yourself out, why would you even bother to go to work? Why would you even bother to go to work? Why did he go and try to get a room at the hotel? Where is he going to hang himself in the hotel with the rope that he bought? Where is he going to hang himself from? The ceiling, the lamp? Okay, these are all questions that one should ask yourselves before you listen and believe the lies. Okay, because I don't believe a word of it. I'm not saying it's impossible that he could have done it, but I just say I don't believe that he could have done it because the story doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, Luna said he tried to check into a hotel first. Exactly. Why would you try to check into a hotel if you're going to take yourself out? Why would you even go to work and try to deliver a load? Okay? Make it all make sense.
Not on my watch, not on Lee watch. And that's exactly why we're here to support this family.
I want to just further your question concerning the timeline. And it's important that the sheriff's office should release that timeline. There's evidence, there's witnesses, there's additional video showing up to almost hours before his death. And so there is a more clear timeline. I'm sorry, from the time that we suppose that his death took place. Yes, sir.
Is there any physical evidence that he was physically beat? Is there any evidence that he was physically beating his face off around his body area?
We are still in the investigation terms, gathering evidence concerning whether or not he was assaulted. In terms of his physical body, there's bruising about his body that could be consistent with him hanging from a tree and being exposed to the elements for an extended period of time. There's also an additional way to translate that evidence to say that he was bruised or hurt or injured by others. At this time, no.
Depending on what's found in this investigation, are you guys planning on filing some kind of potential complaint or anything of that nature moving forward?
Yes, ma'am. Depending on the outcome of the investigation, we are speaking with the family and considering additional leeway.
It's a darn shame. Okay, for the record, I don't believe that any person who looks like me would ever hang themselves from a tree. Okay, I just don't believe that anybody who looks like me would do that. Okay, of all the places to do that, why would you pick a tree? Why would you pick a tree at the end of the day? How does that even make sense? Isn't that would seem to me that would be the most difficult of all places to hang yourself from? A tree. Okay, so I'm not buying that. Okay, Easy says, yes, Queen, dunnage is provided by shipper, but often not enough to secure loads, sometimes with shippers being cheap or push their responsibility on the driver. Thank you for that information, beloved. Darn shame. We're almost done, beloved, so let's go to the next video.
2 black truck drivers found unalive within months of each other, both in cases in North Carolina. The first case back in September last year was Javion McGee. He was found not too far from his truck. The second case, most recent, Mario Kaiser. Please forgive me if I pronounced that last name wrong, but this happened at the end of April. Found hanging in the tree as well. If there's any black truck drivers out there that been in the area over there, because those are only a few hours away from each other, so it's not a coincidence. I don't want to hear none of that. They ruled it as a suicide, but I'm not buying that shit. TikTok, we need to figure out what's going on down there. We need to figure it out quick. Any black truck drivers that's drove in those areas, if you can recount any incidents you came across with any of those people, please feel free to drop it in the comments, but we need to figure this out ASAP.
Okay, I want you all to pay attention, because you mean to tell me that both of these truck drivers were found hanging from trees? Okay. Both of them have been found hanging from trees. All right, please make it all make sense. Please make it all make sense, okay? Let's talk to Mikey. Mikey says, you're lying about Tisa. She has been honest and truthful. You come across like a hater because you only have less than 300 viewers. The prosecutor has another case to bring against Diddy. Okay, well, we'll wait and see about that, about another case being brought against Diddy. But to your point, first of all, if I'm hating on Tisa, so is everybody else who's doing videos about her, beloved. Shall I go to YouTube in the search and type in Tisa Tells Lies and see how many other videos pop up? And in fact, the video that I just showed wasn't my video. It was someone else's who's calling her a liar as well. So with that all being said, and it was proven in the video that she was a liar who lies, beloved. You, sir, are an idiot, okay? And you're a groupie, a fanboy. So of course you're going to sit here and protect your queen. But the fact of the matter is she's a liar who lies. And I don't have to hate on her. She copies what I do, okay? She copies me. I don't copy her, and I don't tell lies, okay? I'm sorry you're disappointed and upset. But at the end of the day, why are you here? Okay, why are you here, sir? Okay, you can run back over there to the tattletales and listen to more lies as you tell yourself clearly. All right, thank you. Now, with that all being said, back to what I was saying. Okay, so I looked up the Mario Kaiser story that he was talking about because I never heard about this young man. And here's what it says. He was found hanged in Charlotte, North Carolina on April the 29th. They say no proper investigation was conducted. Okay, this is all so sad. These people are being lynched. I am convinced. Okay, I am convinced that these people are being lynched. Like, what else is going on here? Hold on.
Hey, am I ready? So I've got a pretty controversial
Hold
story.
on.
We have to warn you. Some of the details might be hard.
Here we go, right here. Hold on. I'm sending this to my email. Okay, I'm sending this to my email. Measured Man has entered the chat. Measured Man says, I'm not putting 20 on 10. Officially, the FTC and the DOJ are investigating her. Ha! Who, Tisa? Somebody needs to be, okay? Somebody needs to be. Indigo said another Tisa bot. Okay, exactly. Like, that's all they can ever say is you're a hater, you're a hater. Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, prove I'm lying. That's all you got to do. Don't sit here and tell me I'm a hater until you prove I'm lying. Prove that she's not telling lies. They come here, oh, she's been honest. Well, prove she's been honest. You just saw the video of her lying. If you watch this entire video, then you saw her sitting there telling lies. You saw Marvin debunk her lies. Okay, now, unless you're just an idiot, which clearly you are if you're trying to defend lies and foolishness, okay, you can't prove that I'm hating on her and that I'm lying on her because I'm not doing either. Okay, please have several seats in an empty stadium, no less. Measured Man, thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, let's go to the next video because this is where a bunch of truckers, all right, DJ Big Six said with receipts. Exactly. Okay, I always have receipts to prove she's lying. It's easily debunked. Okay, she, however, just says things with no proof and verification other than the streets said it or her legal eagles. And then this is how you know the person is so stupid. Because didn't I literally show that she said she got the information from Ava at Black Letter Law? And I showed you all that that law firm closed down in 2020, December of 2020. So I'm hating. Please sit down somewhere. It's painful to listen to. When these people are such idiots, they want to believe lies and get mad at me for calling out the truth and get mad at others for doing the same.
This video went viral Saturday. I want to thank all the truck drivers worldwide that came in and gave your blessing to Mr. James, BK, Jean-Baptiste. Thank each and every one of you. We went viral Saturday on the video right here. Thank you, TikTok, for all that you do. We appreciate you. God bless y'all.
Oh, so sad. Now, with that all being said, just a couple of more videos, beloveds, and then we're out of here. Just two more. Now, this is the guy that I already spoke to you all about who died like a year ago. His body was found after he went missing driving his truck.
Hey, all my roadies. So I'm coming to you tonight because there has been an update in a case that I brought you last week, and I wanted to give you as much information as what's being publicized. So last week I told you guys about a missing trucker. His name was Jalen Allen. He had left his truck in Mount Eagle, Tennessee parking lot, and he was a trucker for Western Express, and they didn't know where he went. The last time they had seen him was on surveillance footage where he was getting $500 cash out of an ATM, and he hasn't been seen since. The family did notify people on their Facebook page that his body has been found. So according to authorities, Jalen's body was found on Friday, March 22nd. There is no details being released on where his body was found or what exactly happened. Neither the family nor authorities are giving any of the information. However, the sheriff's department did put a statement out, and I did want to read that to you. This is from the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and according to what they posted on social media, they're saying on 3/22, an update, Jaylene was found. His family is very appreciative for the support and prayers that they've received during this difficult time. While this is most certainly not the outcome that we prayed for, I know that Jaylene is welcomed into his heavenly home with the most loving of arms. Please continue to pray for his family as these days ahead are going to be very difficult. So, regardless of the circumstances, unfortunately, Jaylene Allen is deceased. They did find him on Friday. So, please keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. It's always sad when we lose a fellow truck driver out there. And if I get any more.
Okay, so here is the last report. This is a news report about a truck driver that was found.
We have to warn you, some of the details might be hard to hear this afternoon. Police say he was discovered not far from his truck in the city of Henderson Wednesday, leaning against a tree with a rope around his neck. His family suspects foul play, but police say it wasn't a lynching. Initially, the family says the Vance County Sheriff's Office told them McGee died by suicide. But today, the sheriff's written statement doesn't list his death as a suicide and says they're now investigating his death.
Now, y'all heard that? They were so adamant that he did it to himself. Now they're investigating it. Okay, please pay attention, okay? End of the day.
Javian's family wants the FBI to step in.
I just feel something in my bones that's not right, and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Candace Matthews is speaking for McGee's mother and says the family wants transparency. His death captured attention this week when his cousin posted a TikTok accusing law enforcement of dragging their feet in the investigation. Family has traveled to North Carolina to press investigators for more information because police are saying McGee purchased the rope at a Walmart before he died. The family spokesperson saying the timeline isn't adding up.
This family deserves answers, and you are going to do your job because something happened between that Walmart distribution center and that young man being hung from a tree. There's an issue. Now, Javian, also the parents want to know, has had no history of mental health, has no criminal history. You know, Javian was a happy individual. In fact, he was happy to even have his CDL license that he just not that long got.
McGee's body is now with the medical examiner for an autopsy. The sheriff's office says they'll share the results with the family as soon as they come in and before.
Okay, so let me just bring you all's attention back to something that I reported on some years ago. Now listen to this. This happened. Hold on. Now listen to this. Now this has been going on, and I want you all to pay attention to these deaths keep happening in North Carolina. There's got to be a group of people doing these things. Now listen. This story was from March of 2019. Okay. The death of a 21-year-old man found hanged in the sleeper of a semi-tractor trailer in Fort Wayne earlier this month has spread around the country through social media posts. The body of Tamon Blair was found March the 14th in a semi-cab parked in the 9100 block of Bluffton Road. A week later, the Allen County Coroner's Office on March the 21st said the 21-year-old from Huntsville, North Carolina, died of asphyxia due to hanging and ruled his death suicide. Now, let me correct myself. His truck was found in Fort Wayne. He was actually from North Carolina, not found there. Now, they say since social media posts have suggested Blair did not die by suicide, but rather he was killed. Okay, some posts have suggested he was lynched, and others have said that he was beaten and hanged with his hands bound. Other posts have offered other theories. Here's the thing. When I first read this story, because I think I reported this, Michael said, I read about that during that time, Queen. I'm familiar with that story. Yeah, I believe I reported this story on Facebook. I wasn't on YouTube yet, But I reported this on Facebook. He had his hands bound and was found in his own truck. And I said, how did he do this to himself if his hands were bound? Okay, so anyway, they say pop culture stars like rappers Big Boy and T.I., who have followers in the millions, have shared the post in recent days. On Thursday, the Allen County Coroner's Office released a 4-page report to correct inaccurate information being spread across social media. Okay, they say as a policy, Wayne 15, which is a news station, in most cases does not report suicides. Due to the viral nature of this case, however, we have made the editorial decision to report what we know at this time. So they reported saying that he did this to himself. Okay, isn't that what they always do? I'm going to share my screen so we can hear this news report. This is what they keep saying, that these people are doing it to themselves. 21 years old. These people are all in their 20s. Pay attention, most of them.
Fort Wayne is gaining notoriety across the country after someone found a man hanging in the cab of his truck 2 weeks ago.
Posts on social media claim the 21-year-old was lynched, despite the Allen County Coroner's Office officially ruling the death a suicide. The social media firestorm has led to the coroner releasing more details about the investigation. Wayne 15's Chris Darby joins us live in the newsroom now. Chris, normally we don't report on suicides.
Yeah, that's true, but this case has now become far from normal. Proof of that comes in the form of this report released by the Allen County Coroner's Office that goes into detail, far much more detail than we've ever seen in a suicide. Now, the Coroner's Office is releasing the list of evidence of what it calls because of inaccurate information spreading across social media. According to the Allen County Coroner's Office, 21-year-old Tamon Blair from North Carolina was found hanging in the cab of a semi-truck in a lot on Bluffton Road. A worker at Premier Truck Rental there found Blair. When he didn't feel a pulse, he called 911. Detectives, medics, and the coroner got to the scene and verified he was dead. Aside from the signs of a hanging, investigators didn't find any evidence to suggest he was killed. No other injuries on his hands, wrists, neck, or face. No blood. No signs of a struggle. Despite that, social media posts claimed he was lynched. People like rappers T.I., Big Boy, and singer Christiana Danielle spreading the word after Blair's mom said there was foul play. We've reached out to the family to find out who told them that, but we haven't heard back.
Okay, so I'm just not buying this stuff. It all sounds crazy to me at the end of the day. This is the young man right here. Let me go to, this is all real crazy. Hold on, I want to pull up his picture. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Why would these young people, these people are rookie truck drivers, many of them. And so you mean to tell me they're going through all the trouble of getting a CDL only to take themselves out shortly thereafter? It makes no sense. Okay, it makes no sense. This is the young man right here. Okay, that's the young man right there, found in his truck, hanged in his own truck. Okay, but he did that to himself, they want us to think. So all of these people are taking themselves out. And here's another thing. There was actually a case where there were 2 people found deceased in a truck. And one of them was a female and the other was a man. And they said that there was a homicide and a suicide. Okay, so this is all just real crazy at the end of the day. Retired federal officer, police officer says, Dr. Shakur is connecting the dots. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, hold on. There's one more case. I don't think I told you all about this. Let me share his picture on the screen. This is the man that I found when I looked up that fake story, or the story they claim was fake, about Eric Darnell. And I found this, the story of Eric Macon. Okay. Sheriff seeks trucker who went missing after breaking down in West Virginia. This was July the 10th of 2025. Okay, this man is still missing. 56 years old. Deputy KB Nikosevic with the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office is seeking assistance in locating Eric Macon. Macon is a Georgia resident and was last seen in the Cross Lanes area at a local hotel. He has not had contact with his family since June the 29th, and they are concerned about his well-being. Y'all, This appears to be an epidemic. Now, they can sit there and try to gaslight us all they want and say that these men are taking themselves out, but it makes no sense. And why are all of them hanging themselves? Y'all don't find that interesting? So you mean to tell me that all of these black truck drivers are taking themselves out in the same manner while they're en route to drop off their deliveries? And they're all just deciding, you know what? Man, I'm fed up with life. Let me just hang myself from a tree, no less. Or how about I hang myself in the cabin of my truck? Okay, as in the case of Tamon Blair. This is oh so sad. Anyway, with that all being said, DJ Big Six says, y'all please stay on point at all times. Exactly. Y'all better be staying strapped up, honey, and having something to protect and defend yourself at the end of the day. That's what you best to be doing. Okay? That's what you best to be doing, honey, because it's getting real crazy out here. Now, listen, I want you guys to stay tuned because I'm coming back live at about 6 or 6:30, so please pay attention. And, honey, I got the dirt on Donald Trump. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Okay, so please make sure you stay tuned in. Measure Man said, keep your head on the swivel. Exactly. All right, so with that all been said, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast, and I will see you all later for the next broadcast at 6 or 6:30, okay? Probably closer to 6:30 because y'all know I'm always late. Okay, unfortunately. But anyway, with that all being said, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got